What do people need if somebody knows what's going on in the community? The world. That's going to be bigger than the internet. And the known universe. You don't know the power of the dark side. It's the Upstate Pulse on News Talk 98.9 WORT, the voice.
Welcome into the Upstate Pulse. My name is Lonzo. It is a beautiful Saturday night. You know, usually when I say it's beautiful Saturday night, people are like, no, it's not. But it is. It's absolutely beautiful outside. And we know that you are stuck on Woodruff Road right now because we were stuck on Woodruff Road earlier. And whilst being on Woodruff Road, I was thinking, what if I had a program that I could actually watch or listen to while I'm sitting on Woodruff Road? Well, we didn't have it, but you do. So you're welcome. You are definitely welcome. And we are glad that you are here. And we are going to have ourselves a wonderful time because today we went to South Carolina Comicon. And we are going to talk all about that. And we're also going to finish our Upstate Pulse pop culture video game bracket. We're going to do that. We're absolutely going to do that today, and we're going to have fun with it. So we are at our Elite Eight. We're going to get down to our Final Four, then a championship game, and then we're going to crown a champion. I will tell you, we had a blast today. I'm going to introduce everybody. We're going to get right into the stuff that we bought, the stuff that we saw, the people that we met, the walk that we made. It was a wonderful time, South Carolina Comic-Con. By the way, before I move on, I just want to let you know that if you missed today, you still got tomorrow. Tomorrow you can come out to South Carolina Comic-Con, and the people that were there today are going to be there tomorrow as far as the vendors go. I believe that most of the vendors are going to be there. By the way, our YouTube keeps crapping out, so I don't know if you can fix it. Tim, that's your name. And we also are going to talk about something that's going to happen tomorrow. I haven't been there on Sunday to see the cosplay contest, but it's going on tomorrow, I believe at 3:30. So I know a lot of people are like, you sure you're going to be there at that time? Yes, we plan on being there at that time. So you can come and hang out with us and watch the cosplay contest. We're going to talk about that in a moment as we scan the crowd at South Carolina Comic-Con. I was looking around thinking, okay, can that guy can win, that girl could win, that furry could win. And
awesome
because you don't always know what's going on underneath there. It's a furry. I mean, so and if you
often wonder,
and our furry friends, no, I don't.
Okay.
Our furry friends on their way back up to Asheville, which is really cool. We got an email, like it was last year or the year before, from some furries that were talking about the show, and they lost us somewhere on their way up to Asheville, but now they don't have to worry about it because we're on 98.9. And so we go all the way up to Asheville, so they can listen to us the whole way home.
They can carry us with them.
They absolutely can.
The entire time.
All right. You're hearing other voices in the room. That's because there are other voices in the room. T2 back from vacation.
What up?
And sitting next to Tim is Brandon. You can't hear Brandon. It's like he's not featured. He's like there.
But you can see him.
You can, and I'll tell you how in just a moment. Also, the upgrade. Cameron is here today.
I am.
And we will see.
I am here.
Because it doesn't work. I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to.
I can't outdo that. I'm not trying to.
You can't outvoice the voice.
You may be there, but I am here.
There we go. Matthew Causey in the house. We are glad to be here. I'm glad to talk to all of you guys, also known as yous guys. And we hope you're having a good evening. Now, obviously, you can hear us on this station, but you can also hear us at the Odyssey app. So let's say you get out of range, which is really hard to do right now because we're in Georgia. We're in North Carolina.
We're hard to escape.
We're in South Carolina. We's everywhere. 100,000 watts of power. This is like what, show number 3 under the 100,000 watts, I think.
Yes.
So, I mean, there's no excuse to not be able to hear us unless you're like going to another, it's like say you're going up north for some reason. And you're like, I'm missing my Upstate Pulse. Well, you can download the Odyssey app, which is free, and you can listen to us for free live every night. Or if you missed the show, you ain't got no time, listen live, you can go back and listen to it at the Odyssey app with our podcasts. But you can also see us live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. And here's how you do it on Facebook and Twitch and Twitter. Well, no, yeah, all those, Upstate Pulse. And then on 98.9 WRD, you can check us out on Twitch. No, on Twitter, on YouTube, maybe, and on Facebook. So anyway,
you should just write a
we're out
list.
there. No, I shouldn't. I'm trying to do things differently, and it doesn't flow the way it normally does. I'm going to go back to doing 10 minutes of telling you guys where you can find us. Anyway, we're live somewhere. Look up Upstate Pulse or look up 98.9 WRD, and you're going to find us. Yes, Viper, and I will tell you why, okay? I'll walk for 3 hours today. That's not a bad thing, okay? It's not a bad thing for someone who's in shape, but I am not, okay? So I walked for 3 hours today, and it was a glorious 3-hour walk. I had a great time, but afterwards, my car sits pretty low. I had some trouble getting in it. That's all I'm saying. I had some trouble getting in it. Definitely had trouble getting out of it. So there you go. All right. So let us talk about South Carolina Comic-Con and how cool it was today. We got there right before 10 o'clock, got our tickets, got in line, and the line was deceptive because it looked like, oh man, this isn't that long of a line, but they looped it around a couple corners.
I even made the joke of they're probably down by where we did the
less a couple corners, more so a couple hallways.
Well, yeah, I mean, those hallways have corners. I'm just saying. So anyway, we thought, okay, man, why are we not outside? But we found out why we were not outside. Eventually, people did end up outside. This is by far, I believe, since I've been going, the most people I've ever seen at South Carolina Comic-Con, and that's not a bad thing. That should not be a deterrent if you're thinking about going tomorrow. That just means there's that many people in this area or in the listening area or in someone we're going to talk about here in a minute that we met out of the listening area coming in to see South Carolina Comic-Con because this thing is growing. The fact that this is the biggest it's ever been as far as the space that's taken up with vendors, and it was a great time. How long do you think it took you to get around, Matthew? Because you move a little bit quicker through crowds than Cameron and I did.
I'm used to going through conventions that are even more crowded than that, so I'm used to just forcing my way through. But
you look at Matthew and you think, get out of the way.
Yeah.
Such
a brute.
Well, more so, I'm just small enough to slink my way through.
Yeah,
but,
he's like Assassin's Creeding himself through there.
He was doing like a lot of like the prayer motions, just like
when you just like try and
he glowed slightly, and I just
through.
lost track of him.
Or like from Assassin's Creed 1 where you do that shoulder thing and you just kind of get through there and where people don't notice you.
See, when I do that, people just fall over for some reason.
That does happen. Absolutely does. All right. So before we got into South Carolina Comic-Con, someone yelled at me from across the way. I appreciate that. And I will tell you a couple other times people recognized me from the show. And they said, hey, Lonzo, love the show. And that was it. So you guys are getting it. That's what I want to say. You guys are paying attention. You get it. I really love that you listen. I love to meet you, but conversation is not going to be a great thing. This is not, because me on the radio and me off the radio, my mind goes blank. So you guys are true listeners, the ones that get it, including the guy at the end who walked up and just kind of touched me on the arm. Lonzo, love the show. And then laughed and walked away.
I'll admit, I got worried for a second and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, you guys get it. It's not a fake thing. Although we had some meaningful conversation with the guy in the line today, but that was more Matthew talking to him, and I was just kind of jumping in here and there.
Oh yeah. No.
Until he said, "You look familiar." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, you know."
And then me and Matthew like shared a look and just started cracking up.
Yeah.
Then it turned out he doesn't actually watch.
It wasn't for that, but he does now. Yeah. He does now. So shout out to Dale.
Yeah, if you're watching right now.
Although we're Tim was talking about before Dale from Walking Dead and how he was dressed, and Cameron thinks Dale that we met in the line was dressed like Dale. So we don't know if that's how Dale dresses or if Dale was dressed as Dale. And if Dale was dressed as Dale, is his name really Dale?
He just looked like he was rocking the Myrtle Beach look.
Yeah, because he asked me if I'd been to Myrtle Beach, like, yeah. And then he asked me if I knew a dude, and it's like, nah, I don't know anybody there. I'm just someone who visits there on occasion. Nope. So, but that was cool. We had some fun conversation with him, and he's one of those guys that goes from con to con and flies in or whatever and spends a couple of days at a con. The one thing he did ask us is like, what's going on after? It's like,
yeah, he was asking if there was an after party because there's a lot of conventions that do after parties and things like that are officially recognized. I'm not aware of SC Comicon doing that, but there are some conventions I've seen that do that.
So since you're an after partier, Matthew,
No, I'm not.
So
what happens at these after parties?
I don't know. I've never been.
Have you been
Are you
invited
sure?
to like
You're-
a furry party or an anime
No.
party or anything like that? I don't know.
No, I don't want to. I'm good.
Yeah. So
You sure?
I'm good.
yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I'd like to be invited. I wouldn't go, but but still, I mean, is it about going to the party? It's more about getting invited to the party, isn't it? I don't know.
I get that. Yeah.
So
I mean, I like to go to the party.
we don't have those kind of things. So sorry about that, Dale, if you're listening. But we should have directed him to downtown. We have a wonderful downtown in Greenville, and it's it's nice down there, and he would have found something going on down there. But we didn't do that. So we get into the con, and people were filtering in right away. I like to stand in line and look around and see what's hitting this year. And what I think is hitting is probably going to be different than what the other guys think. So to me, I saw a lot of Luffy's from One Piece. I saw a lot of them.
Oh yeah.
Different shapes, sizes, creeds, sex, all that kind of stuff. There was like a bunch of different Luffy's.
Straw Hats United.
Yes.
I saw the Frankie that you mentioned, by the way.
Oh yeah, we got shout out to dude. I hope you're listening. It took guts. It really did.
Oh no, yeah.
No, it took guts. So Frankie is the shipwright on
Straw Hats.
on the it's not the Going Merry anymore.
Thousand
It's the
Sunny.
Thousand Sunny. He's the guy who built the Thousand Sunny. So they call him Pervert all the time because he walks around in speedos, but it's speedo bathing suit underwear, and then he has like a Hawaiian shirt and nothing under it. And my dude went full on.
Yeah,
he
no,
went
he
full on.
went full on
He
with it.
full on speedo, shirt open. No offense, probably doesn't have the build for it, but you know what? My dude went for it because that's what it's for. That's what it's
Heck yeah.
for. I like taking my wife. I know she's watching to Comic-Cons just to see the look on her face. And you nailed it, dude. You nailed it. That was a great Frankie. We also saw a Zorro. That was really good. So to me, the thing I saw most was Luffy. Matthew, what's the thing that you noticed the most?
I definitely saw Luffy the most. I saw a few different Chainsaw Man cosplays. A lot. Mostly, I saw a couple Kobanis. I saw a Makima. I saw one, a couple Dingis, and one of which was full Chainsaw Man get up that was really cool, and a few different things outside of that. But that was definitely what I saw the most of.
All right, Cameron, what'd you see the most?
Well, I'm going to talk on what Matthew was saying. The girl character for Chainsaw Man, the one with the horns.
Oh yeah, Power. I completely forgot to mention. I saw like 4 different Powers.
Yeah, there's like a million of those.
Yeah, she is a very popular character to cosplay.
Very easy too.
That's one of the things about Chainsaw
No, easy
Man,
on
I
the
think.
eyes is what you meant. Not very easy because you don't know that.
A lot of people, you'll see it.
You'll think about it later.
Do not go that direction.
That's what you said, though. I'm just helping you out.
By wearing the Akatsuki robes from Naruto or wearing the scout outfit from Attack on Titan because it's really easy to just get that jacket or get that overcoat.
That's
and this is the same kind of thing with a lot of the Chainsaw Man characters because they're all just wearing suits.
Yeah,
they're just wearing suits loosely.
It's a very easy costume.
I was gonna say not everyone owns a suit. All right, really quick before we go to break. If you want to be a part of the show, you can text us at 71307. And also, we have a ton of people hitting us up on the stream. We're going to get to those after the break. You are listening to the Upstate Pulse right here on News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas. All right, quit freaking out. Whatever it is you're freaking out over. Figure out why YouTube wasn't working?
Yes.
Did you get it back on? No.
Working on it.
Because there's still a exclamation mark on
You hit the limit.
Please again.
Can we turn the other one off?
2, 4, 6.
I was actually
hold
going to
on.
suggest that you just hug that thing.
I thought I did.
I'm already there. I didn't know what would happen if I clicked on it.
All
Okay,
right.
I turned it off.
I did too.
He's my second favorite
let's
I was
Pokemon.
going to say,
Uh,
YouTube's working because we're getting YouTube comments.
No, you're.
Yeah, it's probably
it's the
it's probably
Upstate
Upstate
Pulse
Pulse's
YouTube that's
YouTube.
working.
Yeah.
He's talking about
Oh, it's the word
98.9's.
one.
Yeah, sorry
And-
about that.
and
I
it
should have been more
hasn't- it
specific.
has-
Also,
hasn't been
Information
working.
Collector really wants us to do an
I've
after
been meaning to
party
fix it, so I'm going ahead and do it
Go
now.
explain poker. I just,
I
wanna
just
point
added
that
a new
out.
destination, but it won't let me. Yeah.
I wonder if YouTube
I
has
also
been banned
specifically
for
made
us.
my name expecting to
No,
hold it up.
it's not that. They
Sure?
would
Yeah,
tell
I
us,
mean,
yeah.
You're just being. You're just.
Yeah, I
doing
haven't
my
seen
thing.
an email. You're right.
Unless it is like a shadow ban.
But
But
my arm
Yeah, I
is
doubt
going to
it's
get
that.
tired
I
holding
mean,
it
it
up
would
the
be
whole
the-
time. So
I'm
am
just
gonna
saying
take a
I have
By
not
the way,
had this
I
problem
see all
on
your
my
comments. I
stuff.
want to wait to talk about them on the air, though. So,
All right, let's check it real quick.
all right, let's do it.
All right,
Ro-
let's
it's-
see here.
Tim, I think is his name, is about to push a button.
I'm pushing nothing.
We're also
What, in
gonna.
the world.
We're
We're
not
also
even
gonna.
getting the
Cameron, you're too
feed.
close to the camera, dude.
Oh, I'm not.
Okay.
I know what we can do though.
When you turn your head to look at Matthew when he's talking, it's like right up against the camera. I don't know why that is.
All right, I'm gonna try to add it this way.
All right, I need to just not lean in.
No, yeah,
Evidently,
that's probably what it is. You're
Okay,
leaning.
I'll
in.
try one more thing. If it don't work, I will stop.
Okay.
All right.
I'll just leisurely, lounge over here.
Lounging leisurely.
Ugh. So I'll say, Information Collector. It just seems like that's been it's been a theme for you for a couple weeks.
Give me another song. Yeah, you did.
Chris, I will address what you're talking about that name here in a little bit, because I think we need to change the name of the show, and we'll get to that in a moment.
If we do that, we're also going to have to change up the
It's all right.
poster.
There's a lot of things I need to change.
Oh, that's the new one I added.
Well, if we change up the poster, that means I can be included. Yay!
I
don't know if I wanna go that far.
Add.
Yeah, we'll see.
Information Collector. I don't know if I want to ask you more questions or less.
All right, quit addressing
Yeah.
people until we go in order. Gosh, Cameron, what are you doing?
I'm doing what I want, Dad.
I guess we just give it a second. Like I don't.
Hey, don't stress over it. But probably need to fix it before. Need to figure it out
It's just
before
frustrating because
Monday.
I don't have this problem with mine at home, so I think it is something like what you just said.
Probably. Still got Pulse. We still got Facebook and Twitter for the station. So
It's all right. I've been posting shorts on there, so
my people, the Rohirrim. Yes, our people, Tim. The Rohirrim. What are you looking at that? Those are our people. Look at them. The Riders of Rohan, man.
I can see Tim as a writer.
Those are our people.
Yeah.
I like the
See,
I
look.
don't know. I kind
That's
of
not that dude right there is my
I'm a
cousin.
rugged Legolas.
No, see, you're going elves. You think you're an elf, man. You're a rider of Rohan.
Yeah, nah. I'm definitely a writer of Rohan. We do not believe in hope. It is forsaken these lands.
Welcome back into the Upstate Pulse. Lonzo here along with T2 and Cameron and Matthew and Brandon. And we're having a good time on Saturday night. You can watch the show on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, or Twitter. Let me go to the stream and address some of you fine folks. Viper says, happy Saturday. Right back at you. Chris says, what's up, guys? Lisa says, hey, guys. Viper says, worked all day today. My daughter and I are planning on going tomorrow. Cool, because South Carolina Comicon is still going on. So you haven't missed out. You can still see it tomorrow. Chris says, went to Comic-Con. It was a good time. Someone had a vendor booth that said they were the Pulse. I gave them the dirty eye. Don't do that. Those are kids. So there is a school where they are taught radio, and they get to do it in like high school, and it's really cool. And I know the guy who runs the thing. He's a good dude.
Oh, it's
and,
that thing.
Yeah, that's what it is. So
I'm sorry. Is this your delivery? Don't do that. They're kids.
yeah, because they are. They're kids.
Children.
Man.
Don't do
yeah,
that.
Yeah. Chris says so many dudes in French maid outfits. Not sure what's up with that.
I didn't see any of that. Actually,
I absolutely did.
didn't?
Yes.
No, I
yes.
didn't see them.
And I just, if you see that in Walmart, it's something totally different than what it is there. So
I still would have got video. Of it
I'm picturing, okay, this must be some anime that I'm not watching. So
That was the other thing I was going to mention, was that I saw a lot of that.
yeah, me too. Trey says today was the longest line I've seen to get in. In the future, I'm going to just buy admission at Borderlands beforehand. You should do that, because you can do that. You can go ahead and get your bands when they come in. If you look at the social media for Borderlands Comics and Games, they let you know when they're in store. You just go in, pick them up, boom. You walk up at 10 and just walk on in. That's how it goes. All right. Information Collector says we should start an Upstate Pulse after party. I got to tell you, that would be a boring party.
We got a DJ already. we got this, Tim.
That's
all right,
true, we do.
all right. We do have a DJ.
We're going to have camels. We're going to have water slides.
All right, so maybe
I don't
I'm
know about
wrong.
that.
Maybe that thing would be hopping. I don't know what the kids say today. Well,
We're going to have
neither
hot
does
sauce
Tim.
bingo.
Hot sauce bingo. That
Yeah, I've
sounds
been out of the
painful.
game too
Yeah,
long.
yeah,
I don't
he's
know.
been out of it. Let's see.
Am I complaining I didn't see it? Obviously.
Yeah,
I'm so disappointed. I didn't see the.
I
the
mean,
big
I could
burly
still
men
pull
in
a
maid
show, though.
outfits. That's all I really wanted
Of
to
course
see.
you can, man. Once it's in you, it's in you. It's music,
Yeah.
dude. That's how that works.
We all have our things.
Let's see.
I just might say old things like,
Let's
you know,
see. Oryx
"That's off the
says,
chain."
why are we here, Snake? Why are we here, Snake? I don't know.
Just to
What-
suffer.
What is
There
the
we go.
meaning of life?
Yes. Let's see. Information says right now I'm multitasking, planning a clown movie. Hey, you know what? I hope it's creepy because I like creepy clowns, and so does Tim because he's like.
Oh
into
yeah, man.
weird
I
evil stuff.
love all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, still one of my favorite movies of all time. That was good. Have you seen? Killer
No,
Clowns?
but I watched the
Dude,
trailer the other day.
You've got to watch
You
Killer
do need to
Clowns
see
from
it.
Outer.
You
know,
definitely
I
need
don't
to
know if
watch it.
Cameron noticed this at South Carolina Comic-Con. All right, so in Killer Clowns from Outer Space, the clowns put you in cotton candy, and at one point they're inside the ship, the humans, and they find a thing and they pull down part of the cotton candy, and there's a face in there. They had little ones for sale. Yes, they had little ones for
I did
sale.
not see that.
Yeah, I absolutely saw them. Was like,
That's awesome.
Information Collector said, "Oh yes, I featured the Pulse School Group in an article." Yeah, it's a cool thing getting to start on radio from an early age. See if you like it. Hopefully, they understand that they're not going to make any money, but it's fun at least. I mean, there's that sometimes, depending on who you're working with.
Fun can sustain you.
Yes, fun. Well,
No.
Well, yes, you can eat fun, and you can sleep on fun, and you can drive fun. Everyone knows that, right?
No.
No,
Fun.
No.
It's what makes the world go
okay,
around.
all right. So this is one of those things. At
Nihilist.
South Carolina Comic-Con, you don't need to purchase anything. So other than tickets to get in. So you can go there and just look around and look at all the cool stuff if you don't have money to buy stuff. But if you do have money to buy stuff, guess what? There's stuff to buy. There's
yeah.
absolutely stuff to buy. So I cannot tell you the best method if you're going tomorrow, which you should, at the Greenville Convention Center. I can't tell you the best method of purchasing. Some people go, yeah, I want that, and they buy it. Then other people scope out every single booth and go, because there's the thing, and this is how Cameron and I do this. We try to go through the entire con before we purchase anything, unless it looks like it's limited to the point where someone might buy it.
Oh yeah.
So if there are multiples, you wait, because there's a chance that you go, I really like that, but there may be something else, and I know what my budget is, so I'm going to keep going. And then we go back, and we go back to the things that we want to buy, and hopefully they're still there. And rarely do you go back and it not be there. And sometimes you go back and it's not there, and you're thankful it's not there, because you've already went past your budget, and you're like, man, I really didn't want to buy that,
You
but I
hear
did
your
want to buy
wallet.
that.
Thank you.
Yes, you absolutely do. You hear your
Oh, yeah.
wallet. Thank you. So we brought some of the stuff that we bought, and we're going to talk about some of that too. And I want to know, I know a bunch of you were there. Text us at 71307 or hit us up on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, or Twitter, and let us know what you got at South Carolina Comic-Con today. One of the first things the last thing I got was a Tony Chopper statue. So I'm collecting One Piece statues. I also have Batman and Nightwing and Dragon Ball and My Hero Academia. But I want to get the final the entire crew of the Thousand Sunny, and I don't have the entire crew, and I haven't been able to find them.
Who are you missing now?
I am missing Frankie, I'm missing Jinbei, and I'm missing Brooke. I went home and looked, and plus I'm not as tired now as I was this morning when you asked me, because it's like, what?
He forgot to mention Jinbei when I asked him who he was missing while we were at.
Well,
the convention.
because he's I'm at like episode 980 something, and he's not in the intro. He's in the intro, but he's not in the intro as a crew member. So I didn't know if maybe he was going to continue to be a crew member or not. And Matthew can't tell me because that would be spoiling. So I'm guessing he probably will be, because supposedly he's the best helmsman of all time. He just rode a wave and he grabbed the sails on a full-on ship and rode the inside of a wave on the ship. It was awesome. Yeah, I know it's animated. It still was cool. It was really, really cool. So we bought some stuff today. So I got a Tony Chopper. They have a carrot that I really want to go back and buy, but I'm going to do that tomorrow. And I stopped myself today because I'm like, you know what? I'm coming back tomorrow. I can buy. I want to buy one more thing.
I should have had that self-control.
I can do it tomorrow. Yeah, Cameron didn't. So if you are on stream, you can see what one thing that I bought.
I'm jelly.
And I'm going to lean back so you can see the full thing.
I love it. I'm so jelly.
Yeah, you can describe what it is, Tim.
This is the Buster Sword from the 1997 classic PS1 game Final Fantasy VII.
All right, and here's the thing: this one only has 2 mana slots, so we're figuring out.
Wait, mana slots. Materia slots.
Whatever. It's it's a different name and in a different game.
Tim, I don't think I've ever heard you scoff before.
Yeah, he just went full on Matthew Chris on me.
I had a nerd moment. I'm sorry.
Hey,
it's a nerd show.
That's his thing. Don't you take his
Don't
thing.
take my thing.
All I can say is now in the bracket, something may lose because of what he just did. I may do everything I can to make that game lose. Anyway, so I got a Buster Sword.
I can't help myself.
I didn't get the full-on Buster. The full-on Buster was out of my price range. It was, but it wasn't. I was given the go-ahead by the wife to go ahead and get it, and I looked at how big it was and was like,
Excuse me. So would you like half Buster or a full Buster?
So believe it or not, I don't really like to spend money. It just.
Oh no, I feel that.
Yeah,
I hate it too.
Hurts.
I want to get something, but at the same time, I'm like, and she's like, we do have a half Buster. I'm like, how much is that? Give me that. So I got a half Buster. The other thing is, excuse me, is this will actually fit on screen when I'm doing the show. And if you heard the mic cut out, it didn't. That's me putting the sword in front of the mic for just a brief moment.
That's him wielding a sword.
That's how big it is. So I'm not going to do this, but Matthew suggested I write it off as a business expense because
it is showed up on the show. It is technically
right.
a business expense.
He's right, and my wife is like, "Why are you taking that to work?" Because I got it for work. I'm gonna have this thing like every day for the next 3 months on this show.
That's amazing
because it makes me feel powerful. So that's what I got. Matthew, what'd you get?
So viewers on the stream have probably been seeing one of the things that I got, which is a little Blaziken plush. So Blaziken is one of my absolute favorite Pokemon of all time. My 3 favorite Pokemon specifically are Flygon, Blaziken, Vaporeon. I've had a Flygon and a Vaporeon plush for years now, and I never saw a Blaziken plush. I knew they existed, and I could have ordered them overseas if I wanted to, but I didn't really want to pay international shipping. So this was really awesome to find. I also grabbed a few different manga volumes because as I am planning on moving into a house with a friend, I'm going to be setting up an office that is going to have some bookshelves, and I'm going to start actually building out my manga collection. And so I got a few more volumes of, if I can move them up here, of One Punch Man I got volumes 1 through 4 were the first manga that I ever bought because I really enjoyed the series back in college, back in like 2015, 2016. And I never really collected anything until after that, until the new Borderlands location opened up. And I started by grabbing all of what was out of Psycho in English. And then I also grabbed the first of 2 volumes that are coming out of Tatsuki Fujimoto, all of the short stories that he did before he published Chainsaw Man. And there's a second one coming out like later this month, actually. And then I grabbed the one shot Demon Slayer, the Demon Slayer one shot that came out a while back. Because I'm waiting to grab the box set. I'm not going to collect the individual volumes. I'm going to get the box set when I get past a couple other series. But I saw this and it was cheaper than I could normally get it, so I wanted to grab that.
I did notice full manga sets where we first saw you, I think.
Yeah, so those are box sets. So a lot of manga that are long running and have longer series will actually collect a certain number of volumes into a box set that is sold for less. And I mean, there's stuff for that for Dragon Ball, and Dragon Ball Z are separated by that. One Piece has 4 box sets right now that go up to volume 90. There's I think Bleach has 2, Naruto has 2 or 3, but yeah, those longer running series all have box sets for the most part.
All right, Cameron, what'd you get?
All right, so I got a couple different things, including a Ace of Spades replica from Destiny 2,
which he forgot to bring, but it's nice.
It's very nice.
Yes, they have video game gun replicas and swords.
It's from the same place
like
that Dad got his Buster Sword. The other things I got was a set of bronze dragon bookends. I also did not bring those, but I did bring, if you're looking on the stream, 2 rather nice changing Star Wars prints.
Oh, nice.
There we go.
You can kind of see it on the. Here, pull it over to my screen since yours is a little blurry.
All right, this is mostly radio, so explain exactly what it is. Somebody, Matthew, Tim, somebody. I can't see it.
Yeah, so what he got a holographic image, one of those. If you remember, if you've ever seen the often smaller things that you'll get. I think they've been in Happy Meals and stuff like that before, where you as you turn it at a different angle, it'll show a different picture because of how it's constructed in science and all of that. And he got a large print of that for Star Wars.
I know I saw. I know
your description was "and science."
Science.
I know I saw Darth Revan there. Who else was in there?
There was Nihilus, Revan, and I believe Darth Bane. It's either Darth Bane or
was
the
Bane.
Son.
I just couldn't remember his name.
Yeah. All right, I don't
think I saw an Alakazam plush.
Other things.
Doesn't mean there wasn't one though.
No, there was a booth that had a bunch of different Pokemon plushes, and I didn't look at all of them because I saw the Blaziken one, and that was the only thing I really saw.
Trey asked earlier about D&D stuff. There were more dice people.
He just pulled out his dice.
That's why I'm saying that. There were more dice people, dice booths there this year than I've seen before. At least 3 or 4.
Yeah, Misty Mountain Gaming, Sorensen Precision Works, Smoking Glue Guns, which, by the way, this particular one you see on the stream is the one I got from Smoking Glue Guns. That lady puts everything in the dice, and it's amazing.
She is really awesome.
Ask her about baby dice.
Ask her about the baby dice.
And finally, I got one from a personal friend.
Again, you have to describe what it is. Well, I mean, because it's radio.
I can't see it through the papers.
These wonderful black and white prints from Matthew. Could you be?
I just paper cut myself.
Let's go. He's gonna die.
I'm gonna die.
So I got these from a local artist.
No. Yes.
Local.
Oh God,
yes.
You're doing that.
Yes.
The ID-12. You threw me off there. It's like
because I saw that.
Am I doing something wrong?
No, keep going.
Am I being unprofessional?
Yeah, some of us got that.
So I got 2 Star Wars prints that were very well done by a local artist who usually goes to Comic-Con, Mel Rivera, which I always try and get some of his stuff. It's always good. I'm trying to make a nice little shelf collage of his works. So yeah, I got a decent amount of art and a decent amount of like functional stuff. So yeah, had a good time.
All right, we got a few more things to talk about South Carolina Comic-Con, but we need to take a break. But you know what? We'll continue talking during the break on the stream on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. You are listening to the Upstate Pulse right here on News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas. So I'm wondering, sort of like this could cleave someone the size of the Stone Man in half. I'm thinking.
Oh yeah, easily.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Easily.
I could skewer him for sure.
Well, that's a different thing. You're trying to.
Not
It's
that
like
I
a
would
big
want
chef's
to.
knife.
No, I want to film a video of me just chasing him down the hallway. I just think that would be awesome.
I'll film it.
He might do it. He might do it. You never know. I would ask the stream who you would like me to chase down the hallway with this, but I already know who you're going to say. So
We just cut to Rob Brown running for his life.
no, that wouldn't be who they'd say.
Oh,
So
yeah,
anyway.
never mind.
And I don't think he would go for it because he'd be worried that I would actually hit him with it.
Yeah.
Which anything can do damage if you swing it hard enough.
True.
I mean, there's that.
You can do damage with an orange.
I don't know, with an orange, you kind of want to be up and close and like do a little smearing.
Oh, no, it's definitely
Yes,
it's
yeah.
definitely an up close and personal weapon.
Blaziken's a fighting type, so his punches hurt.
Yeah.
And he's a fighting fire type, so they both hurt and burn.
By the way, you did have a bunch of plushies there. So
Yeah, there was a lot of them. I didn't get a good look at everything. They might have had one. I didn't notice it, but there was one booth that had a ton of different Pokemon plushes, and there was a few every few rows or so. There was a couple different things because there's always Pokemon plush booths.
So the good part about going back for day 2 is you can go spend a little more time in a booth that you normally wouldn't spend time at. I mean, that you didn't necessarily rush past,
Shut
but
up, Brandon.
you were trying
You got a
to.
little trouble there.
Yeah, and there's one more thing that I need to get tomorrow. Actually, myself, it's not picking up on any item; it's getting a signature from somebody that
There
I
you
didn't
go.
get a signature
There you
from.
go.
Yeah.
So Johnny Young Bosch was running late today because of
It's a
a flight
delay.
problem. Are you cold?
So I
Dude.
have.
Dude, compared to what it's normally like in here,
No.
I'm in here sweating, and usually I'm in here can't feel my fingertips.
The kids had to slip and slide out today, so I'm still.
Viper
chilly
says
from
the
that.
psychic types never get the love.
Alakazam gets a lot of love though. If they're
I
from
do
Gen
love
1,
Alakazam.
they get a lot of love, and Alakazam is definitely in that. But yeah. So for those that don't know, Johnny Young Bosch is the English voice of Vash the Stampede. Trigun
Oh, that's
is
better.
in Trigun, and Trigun
Oh.
was one of my intros to anime. Dragon Ball was my
This is a little
first
chilly.
introduction to it, but Trigun was what really got me into anime, and it sits as one of my absolute favorite series. And it just got a reboot that finished
say-
airing last weekend.
You said Trigon?
Trigun.
Yeah. Okay. I
Hey,
haven't
Tim,
seen
how
that in
much
like
time we got?
years.
So I have my
Huh?
DVD
How much
set
time we
because
got?
there's no Blu-ray for it, unfortunately.
One
Don't be
minute.
going in my office, no.
So
1 minute.
I am not
I,
fighting with this.
I'm gonna get him to sign
not-
the inside
You're not supposed to be in the
image,
hallway without it.
the paper on it, and I'm gonna get that.
Yeah,
Do not
Mark-
go in. It happens
Mark's
one
gonna come all the
time.
way
Yeah,
here.
Yeah. I accidentally hit you in your glasses. I'm sorry. Okay.
But I had to go paint the house, so I couldn't stick around long enough for when he was going to show up late.
G. I love that. That's on TV right now.
Potatoes.
That's good to see, Trey.
Stick them in a
Just them
stew.
raw and wiggly.
I agree, Dave. Adulting does suck. But with adulting comes money.
Listen, I don't know about this adulting thing you're talking about. Look what we're doing. I mean, and this is kind of like my normal day. I
It's definitely not mine.
live vicariously through me because you don't want to get paid this little.
If you push it again, it'll pause it. Okay.
Welcome back into the Upstate Pulse. Lonzo, Tim, Cameron, Matthew, Brandon. Having fun on Saturday night. Speaking of Plus Ultra, my legs went Plus Ultra today for 3.5 hours. And, I feel like All Might does now on the show.
Speaking of Plus
Oh, my.
Ultra, my wallet went Plus Ultra with all of that stuff.
As did mine.
Yes.
And
Let's
it looked like Endeavor after that fight with that Nomu.
There you go.
Yeah, really.
Trey says, I really like Mel Rivera's artwork. I usually get some of his prints. I added magnets to refrigerator collection. Goonies and Office Space stuff. That guy with the red stapler cracks me up. Also, Chris says, saw a Beast Boy and Raven that looked, but the lack of comic heroes was unusual. No Spider-Man. Yeah,
I
you
saw
do
a
see-
Spider-Man. I
Did
saw
you?
a really good Spider-Man. He was hanging out with
So to speak.
a really good Captain America.
If it counts, I saw Black Cat.
Yeah, we saw her walking in. Yes.
Oh, nice.
It was a very nice
It was a
Black
good
Cat
costume.
Ooh,
Yes.
awesome.
And it was not someone who shouldn't be Black Cat. That's all I'm saying. I mean, so if you are listening, well done. Good costume choice. It's, you look in the mirror and go, I could be that. And you were right. You were. Speaking of good choices, there were some bad choices that were made too, including I heard someone say who was cosplaying, that's inappropriate for children. And it was a younger girl, and she was walking by pictures of anime characters on toilets. Why? Okay, why?
Oh,
Well,
I
for-
saw that booth. Those were funny.
Well, for context, it was Goku on there, and that kind of makes sense.
I'm confused.
I like
She
the
did
one of
what with
Hulk
the
on his
toilet?
phone.
No, she didn't. She was disgusted by the pictures. So there were pictures of anime characters, Goku and Vegeta, not together, separately,
Just on the toilet?
sitting on the toilet.
I
They
like
were
to
going
think
Super
that they were
Saiyan.
sitting on
I mean,
toilets
I would
on
put them in my
opposite sides of
bathroom.
each other. They're obviously competing.
Yes, obviously.
Yeah, I'm like, who thought? You know what? Let's do that.
Hey, man.
Okay.
I mean,
It was
I would
funny.
immediately
was
put them
funny.
in my bathroom. If I
I'm
bought
more
'em.
regular than you.
All right. Yeah. Chris says saw Stan Lee lookalike. Maybe he's alive. You know what? That Stan Lee dude. That dude was good.
It was.
Oh, that was
He
a
was-
really good
It,
Stan
it
Lee,
really
yeah.
was.
Oh,
He's-
yeah.
He's just walking around. He was playing it well too. And of
Yeah.
course he was just an older guy who was into
Oh yeah.
being there.
Hey.
Let's see.
Rest in peace, Stanley.
Yeah. Well, not so sure about it after
Yeah.
I'm
today.
pretty sure it was actually Stan Lee.
I think it
There
might
you
have
go.
been Stan Lee.
It was the
Uh,
ghost of Stanley just
he
hanging
came
out.
back from where Tupac is.
If we go
Yeah.
back tomorrow and he's sitting in a booth drawing, that's him.
Okay.
I'm just
All
saying. Polar Knight says, I love the show. It's a perfect evolution of beard growth. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
We got a little cycle going on here.
Yeah, we
man.
do. It's not exactly in order, is it?
No,
No, it's not. It's
no.
not in order. But I mean,
It
if-
may be on
It
the
looks
stream.
like it's
though.
in order because of
No.
the lighting.
you
on
know what?
Cameron.
No,
It makes his
absolutely, you're
beard
right.
look
If you
larger.
start with Matthew and you go down to me
Yeah.
and go over to Cameron and you end with Tim, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There
Look
you
back
go.
to your Matthew. Now back to Tim. Now back to me. Now back to Dad.
Yeah. So
Now over to Brandon.
so that is
Yeah,
how that
there you
works.
go.
Yeah.
Now over to the guy who's lurking in the corner. Oh God.
So
Sorry.
did you guys see anything else that you went, oh, that's probably not a good idea? I mean, here's the thing. I don't want to be too judgmental, because this is, I guess, the most inclusive that something can be as far as cons go. Because you should not be judged, but I can't help myself.
I didn't
I've-
see anything that like really stood out to me,
Yeah.
but I've seen some like really bad stuff at conventions before.
I think I've seen worse stuff on earlier years of this con, but
You know what I saw that was really good though? RoboCop.
Hey,
Oh, that
Dude,
RoboCop
the
was so good.
RoboCop was excellent.
I also saw a couple of good Star Wars cosplay. Like there was a Purge Trooper. There was a couple of guys who had like mix and match their own stuff. I don't know if they're affiliated with 501st. I don't think so, but they had done a good enough job to where like they pull it off well.
There was a Baymax there too.
Oh, there was a Baymax. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I've been to a convention where I haven't seen a Baymax.
I wanted to get him to hug Matthew just because I know that would be the most uncomfortable thing for him.
I made accidental eye contact with the guy through the little
Yeah, you don't want to
view
do that. You don't want to
port.
do that, you know.
It was really awkward.
I was gonna
Yeah.
lean back and just yell, "This man needs support."
See, the other thing is, I feel bad for people who don't get a good volume of visitors, and it just may happen to be that we walk by at the time when no one's at their booth, and I just really want someone to go to their booth. Not me, of course, not me, but I want someone else to go up there. You know, someone else who's interested in their stuff. And there's a good variety of things all over the place. It is an excellent time. If you got some free time tomorrow, you should go over there. You really should. And yes,
yeah.
you can buy tickets at the door. You absolutely can. And you're going to have a good time. And we had a good time. And is there anything else you guys want to add as far as that goes?
Did you put your hand up there for a second? Oh, okay.
You weren't
Oh,
there.
okay. Yeah, that's why I was so confused.
Yeah, you
No, I
weren't
was
there.
born a
What do you know?
Brandon just assumed I had something to say because I usually
okay.
do, but I don't in this
Well,
case.
so I had a lot of fun today. I always do. I didn't get any autographs today. And I will tell you, those autograph lines, those things were long.
Oh yeah,
They
they're
were,
always long.
Those are the
You make
longest
it
time.
sound like it's something that you frequent.
No, these are the longest lines for autographs that I've ever seen, and that says a whole lot about the people who are up there.
Oh
Because
yeah,
I talked about that empty booth. Didn't see any of those except for Johnny Young Bosch's booth because he wasn't there
because he
yet.
wasn't there. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that booth was empty. All the other ones had lines, and I have a thing where if I interview someone on the radio, I don't necessarily want to go up and get their autograph because I have video and audio proof that I did it. And
Oh yeah.
I always feel awkward getting autographs.
yeah,
Always.
me too. And I've had bad experiences with it, and I've had good ones. Chris Rager and Josh Martin, Hercule and Boo, those guys were great. And that was like the year right after COVID where things were starting to open back up.
Oh yeah.
We interviewed them. We had a blast going up and talking to them. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. Cameron got something free and I didn't. And I don't, that's fine. He's like, the Father and the Son. And then he just kind of slid something over to Cameron. I'm like, dude, what?
Look.
What's the,
Here's the thing. You did good.
They knew who the
parenting.
moneymaker
I'm likable.
was.
I mean, you wouldn't know who he is without me. So why is he getting
Yeah.
the free stuff? I
Yeah.
don't get that.
Because he's the upgrade.
Okay.
I
all
am
right,
the upgrade.
All right. There's that.
I am what you made me. Father.
Yes. Well, you've made yourself after you got to a certain age, and proud of that. So I don't normally get autographs either, and I'm not.
I've never done autographs before, but I felt like I really want to
I get it.
because this is my favorite series. And one of the reasons it's my favorite series is because I love his rendition of Vash so much.
That's cool. That really is cool. And one of the things, because of Rob Young from Borderlands Comics and Games, has been able to get us a ton of people to interview, mostly on the Fan Upstate, because the wrestlers, and we usually get them on. So I've gotten to interview a bunch of wrestlers, and that was cool, including Dan Severin, who's there, and his line was long. And one of the reasons why I didn't go up and get his autograph is because I'd still be standing there. Now,
Would you ask for a headbutt?
No, I would not ask for a headbutt. But dude, when we had him on, we talked about amateur wrestling and the connection. Anyone who's been an amateur wrestler, you can talk to an amateur wrestler. Oh, we got another break, do we? You can do that for a very long time.
It's a fraternity.
I am being told that we need to take a break. That's some good producing there, fella. You're listening to the Upstate Pulse right here on News Talk 98.9 WORD. Man, it's such a long thing. The voice of the Carolinas.
Oh. Put it in the wrong spot.
But you're doing so well.
I know. You tried really hard. You would blame Brandon? Blame Brandon. He had it in the wrong spot.
Did you put that up there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not.
There you go. There you go. Although I could blame you for double checking and not catching it, but I think Brandon tried to trip you up.
No,
Brandon wanted you to
man.
get nude.
Yeah,
No, I don't want you to.
Success. Way to go, Brandon.
Yeah, it's all your fault.
Good job.
So good. All right.
Give him the Mario Golf. Nice
It's
on.
gonna be a real short segment, guys.
That's fine. We'll come back. We'll do this thing where you set up the next hour and then you go to break. Also known as the Terra method.
Yeah.
Get the music.
It's no, don't do that. Also known as the Rush Limbaugh method, where you go too long, and Tara does this too. Go too long,
Mhm.
and then you only have enough time to set up the next hour, and then you jump back out.
Yeah. Charlie does it sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, it's the producer's fault for not taking them to break when they're supposed to,
Yeah.
taking charge, taking command, and going, hey, I'll turn your mic off. I'll do it.
Yeah.
You start. You look at the clock. What? That's what I thought. That's what you need to do. That's what everybody needs. All producers need to do that. That's what I do.
Yeah. Oh, you're good. No worries, man.
I was gonna say you should get like a hook, like you would see in like a cartoon.
Yeah. Here's the
I
thing.
can't.
Yeah, if he turns,
I won't be able to
then
hear.
he won't be able to hear. That's because he's a rocker, man. He's deaf.
My ears ring.
I mean, come on. Right, Viper. Yeah. I'm being sarcastic because about blaming the producer because, yes. Tim, I believe, knew what I was doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is as you would call it,
yeah, we got
sarcasm.
plenty of time. Okay.
Although I'm getting way too comfortable holding this thing.
Just wielding that.
Yes, wielding. That's a better way to put it.
Dude, I'm so jealous, man. I want that thing.
You
I'm
never say hold a sword.
I'm
you wield
going
the sword.
tomorrow to go get one of those.
I'll talk to you later about how much it costs.
Yeah.
Then you can make your decision about what you want to do. Although they have cheaper stuff, but I don't think. Anyway, I'll tell you later. I don't want to discourage anybody. Only comes around once a year, though. I mean, there's that. So my not wanting to spend money, I can say, well, this comes around once a year. So if you put it like, how much would it cost me a month to pay for that for the entire year? That helps. You should think of that too. That helps. That helps. I spend this much on food, going out to eat.
I just don't go out to eat for a
I
month.
didn't get a second.
No, they
Xbox
had the
controller today.
By the way, Tones, they had the actual size one, but it cost twice as much, and it wouldn't show up on the camera because it's too big. This one is perfect size
Oh,
for
But you
for
could have
stream.
wore it on your back, and everybody would have known what it was.
How everyone still knows what it is, and how can I wear it on my back
He doesn't have a
and
strap.
sit here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I
You can
can't.
make a strap.
He
Get
doesn't
some
have, he
string,
didn't have
man.
one on him.
You
Not
want to
even
be
wear
real
it.
Did he have the
creative? Get some
materials?
fishing string.
Nor did I have the materials. You're right.
There you go.
Who walks around with fishing string?
I could.
Isn't it
costs
Plus,
like
why would
nothing.
you use fishing string? That might cut
Because he
through
doesn't
you.
have a strap on in front of him. Never does. He just sits it back there.
Well,
He probably has some sort of
series
magnet.
of magnets.
Probably
yeah.
a magnet.
yeah.
Yeah.
How do those?
But I
work?
like the supernatural idea where he just sits it there.
Welcome back into the Upstate Pulse. Alonzo, Tim, Cameron, Matthew, and Brandon. And we are having fun on Saturday night. Got just a couple minutes to tell you what we got coming up in the next hour. We are going to attempt to review Mandalorian. We also have some video game stuff to talk about. We've got Nerd Roundtable. And probably the most important thing, the thing that we've been doing for a while and should have done already and did not, is our video game bracket. So we are going to we're going to crown a champion before the show is over. And if for some reason something happens and we go too long, we'll stick around a couple minutes after to make sure it happens. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I think we're going to have enough time to get to it. But our Elite 8 is in, and then we're going to get it down to our Final 4, our championship game, and then we're going to find out who is the Upstate Pulse's winner this year in our bracket, who is the number one game of the show. It's not, I mean, it may not necessarily be any of our favorite games, but this is how it works out. And there again, it might be, because if I gave away that, stop it, Steven, it's out.
Lost.
It's
done.
out. It's done.
It's at its time.
It went home till next year. Although there won't be a next year as far as video games go. So
That lip quiver
I'm
on
still
Matthew.
crying about it. I understand, Steven.
I'm still not sure this is a They Live versus Matrix thing. I'm not, because I think Diablo has more quality than what They Live did compared to Matrix. All right. You are listening to the Upstate Pulse right here on News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas. We're continuing on stream through the top of the hour break. So stick around.
I like the
No,
2-minute segment.
No.
The sad part is Cameron and I. Oh yeah, that's good. That's going to be interesting.
Oh, yeah.
I agree, Viper. Listen, I'm tired, man. I'm not going to pretend like I'm not.
That's right, Vapor.
Yeah.
We're gonna have an interesting.
Yeah,
night.
absolutely correct. That's what we going to do.
Let's just do the entire show like this.
It's all right. I'm getting ready to hit that silly stage.
I feel
You can
like
do-
I'm
I
in
thought you were
danger.
already there.
You can demand it. No. It gets worse. You've never experienced the real me. Cameron has. You have not.
It's a terrifying thing.
It can be. Yes,
Are you one of those people that just gets goofy when you're tired?
absolutely.
I do that too.
Yeah.
He's holding himself less and less in check as he gets goofy.
Yeah, usually I don't do the things that I'm doing now. So I mean,
Yeah. Oh no, I've just never had anybody ask me that.
like playing with my sword. I love my sword.
Yeah, sure, man.
I love my Blaziken.
I love me. Don't you love me too?
This is my
Somebody
rifle.
has
This
to.
is my gun.
I got enough love for myself to,
There you go. Self-love is important.
Yeah, nobody else is gonna do it.
Self-loathing.
Self-loathing is also important.
Tim,
My mama hates you and she
Phrasing.
loves everyone.
It's important to have some level of self-real.
Phrasing.
well, Steven, I'm caught in a flashback. I don't know where I'm flashbacking from. I'm remembering this
Why is he?
time
Why is he?
forward.
Why is he
I don't know
steaming?
where it's
Hey,
going.
dude,
This is a really long flashback, so it must be a One Piece flashback.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
Either that or a Naruto flashback. They're both very long.
Oh yeah, the Naruto ones. Good lord,
or a One Piece thing where they just
whole seasons
do
long.
a totally different
sometimes.
story with all the characters. Suddenly, they're in Japan and Luffy is a policeman. It just
What?
Yeah, they do that, and it's like, okay, why? Because they want to. It gets real serious, and they want to take a break, so they like send them to a totally different place. There's one where Luffy's a gangster. I mean, it's like, okay, what are you guys
That
doing?
sounds like filler.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Yeah,
definitely
that's
filler.
filler.
Because I don't remember that ever being in the actual series.
Oh, I can't stand filler sometimes.
No, there's some good filler out there, but
Good filler, but
Dragon Ball Z had some really good filler.
Yeah.
Shout out to the driving episode.
I don't know why you looked, man. You should have known it was going in.
I doubted.
That's what I do, yo.
I also really like the
You
Dragon
should
Ball Z
never ever
filler
doubt
episode
what
during
no one
the,
else is really sure about.
right before the Cell games when the rich guy that's like putting together this
The General Tao thing.
so-
yeah, with General
information
Tao coming
collector.
back.
no look.
The thing is,
Not even close. Oh my god.
the thing is, we're probably going to be there. We're going to be there sometime before when the cosplay contest starts. And the cosplay contest is around 3:30. So I think we're gonna be up there around 2:30 or something like that. Because I want to eat in the cafe. Because I don't know what the cafe tastes like, but I want to eat in the cafe.
Have you eaten at a cafe before?
I ain't eating that cafe. I'm here at the daggum cafe. I want some cafe food. I don't know what it is,
I
but I'm
want
gonna
an
eat it.
$11 burger.
You keep
Apparently.
acting like that's expensive.
I know.
Like,
It
that's,
is.
like,
No,
unusual. Everything's
everything's
expensive
expensive
now.
now. Thank you, Brandon. Everything's expensive right now.
Not that expensive.
Yes, that expensive.
Not for a burger.
Yes.
All right. You don't go to the burger places that we
I'm not
go
talking
to.
about
Yeah,
going
so,
to
like,
a
grab
restaurant.
me a
I'm talking
bed.
about just having a burger.
let's say
Like,
you
you can put a burger
accidentally
together
fire
for, like,
too
$2 or $3
early or
bucks.
something.
Can't
have it
know.
always
fire
I
when my
don't
volumes
know,
are down.
man. Have you seen the price of meat?
I fired too
Yes.
early. Push it again.
Buy
it'll
some
stop.
meat. It's pretty
You
It'll
can get a
pause it.
pound
It'll
of
pause it, like,
ground beef
where
for
it's
about
at.
$6.
I don't
And
know.
then of course push it again.
Yeah.
And it'll
So-
start
Because you
back
don't need to
up.
get like
No,
lean
wait.
beef for
So-
a burger. You don't need lean beef, so you can get the cheaper stuff.
Why wouldn't you want lean beef?
Because a burger is ground beef as a burger that you're just going to fry up is going to get rid of most of that anyway, and is going to give it a little bit of taste to it, that fat. So you don't actually care about that. You care about something lean for something like a steak that you're going to.
You keep saying you.
yeah.
You mean you? Because
All's
we're
right.
like cavemen. We don't. I mean, no,
But
we're
yeah,
refined
if
cavemen.
you,
I want only the finest cuts of hamburger.
Yeah, you can just start and stop it.
Ground beef is ground beef.
I want the Wakaka beef. I need some of that. No, I can't spell it. That's what I said. The Wakaka
well,
beef. I
don't
want some
know.
Wakaka beef.
Yeah, you use some broiler.
I believe you need medical attention.
Fat is the flavor, is it? I mean,
This cow, it
I'm
is
add
beef.
more of them. I just haven't gotten a chance
Absolutely.
yet.
Also, information collector. I think.
Yeah, I don't
That's
think
the
he's
point.
buying Lassie.
I'm one of those people that like.
By the way,
really budgets
Lassie, I think has
food.
2 S's.
So, like, if
I mean,
I
I'm
wanna
not
cook
sure, but I
things,
think
like-
so.
I'm the kind of person that's like really.
I mean, there is that, Philip. Although without said ads, we would not be able to sit here. So I mean,
It
there's
does
that.
make money.
Oh gosh.
He starts talking about hamburger, he gets all choked up over there. I'm still going good. I'm still going to.
personal matter to me.
It is. I'm still going to the cafe tomorrow.
Matthew loves
I'm
his
going to the
meat.
cafe. Hey, listen, I may walk into the cafe and go, nope. but I'm going in that cafe. I've never actually been inside the cafe.
Way to steer into the skid.
So, funny thing, actually, one of my friends in college, one of my really good friends, I knew him the first year that I knew him. He thought I was gay. I'm not, but he thought I was, and I
use
find that
all
really
the time.
funny.
My turrets, Steven. Daggum
I was
turrets.
gonna say, I used to get that all the time when I was younger too. It's just like I'm polite
You don't know when the turrets gonna show up.
Oh,
or awkward.
Awkward. What's that? What? Oh, now I gotta talk about something. I'm glad you said that.
What did that remind you of?
You'll see. All right, welcome into the Upstate Pulse, the hour number 2. Affectionately used to be the third hour nerd hour. I got some news on that. I went to talk to LexCorp and I said, "Can we have our third hour back?" That's what he did. That's exactly what he did. How'd you know? How'd you know?
I just knew.
Yeah,
I just knew.
We did have a conversation about it, and I pled our case. And it's out there in the ether, so to speak. It's out there. I'm letting them know, hey, we're willing to take it back, and we're willing to do as good of a job as we do on the other 2 hours, which I'm sure is going to make him go, yeah, that's a no-brainer. I mean,
It's
without
quality of a sort.
of a sort. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Cameron said something about awkward. And so he and I had a conversation whilst walking through South Carolina Comic-Con. Why so many?
Oh yeah.
All right. So nerds have kind of this thing, an awkward kind of walk to them. A lot of them. All right. We have an awkward kind of walk to us. And in the observation of people, which is something that I like to do, is I was curious, if you get so many awkward people together, would there be a natural flow to it? Because, awkward going against what's a normal gait of someone walking down a hallway, it stands out. But if everyone's awkward, then no one's awkward. So if no one's awkward, then everyone should have a natural flow, and it should be like, it should be like not necessarily ants or whatever, but things that's smooth. It's not true.
And your hypothesis was incorrect.
Yes, it was. It
Because
was.
everybody's awkward runs at a different frequency.
Including Matthew witnessed the one guy, and I was trying to go this way and he was trying to go that way. I think you were standing there. And it's like, finally I said, hey, I'm going left. And he laughed and he went to the right. I mean, because we were at a standstill. We're just
that's
like,
not even just a
I
nerd
don't
thing. That's
know.
anybody.
it is.
has that happen.
But think about it. If there's a nerdy kid at school, let's say, and he kind of walks different than what everybody else is worried about their cool pimp and how they want to get down the hall, and they want the girl to go, hey, look at him, look at how he walks. The nerd is trying to get to his class. He don't care.
Yeah.
He doesn't care. He wants to get to his class.
I don't feel that awkwardness though.
Yeah, because you're the coolest guy in the room. Of
No,
course you wouldn't
it's
think that.
not even that. It's more of like a
excuse
punk
you.
rock attitude type of thing.
Who's the one here with an
Like,
actual
I don't
with
care.
a Blaziken plush? I think we all know who the coolest one here is.
Good point.
So anyway,
Hey, I agree with that. I agree.
everything is show
Thank you.
prep for me. So I mean, that's what I just like to observe that. And I was curious about and the awkwardness. It doesn't flow the way it should. It should be uniform, but it's not.
Awkwardness does not have a uniform or a conformity to it.
Well, you know what? Now we know.
I will
So
say,
I had a hypothesis that it would work that way, and then we saw it in action, scientific method, if you will, and now I know that my theory was incorrect.
one thing that always annoys me whenever I go to conventions is when we've got this flow, everybody is walking down the paths, we've got our paths, and then somebody just stops.
Yes.
Somebody just looks at it, sees a stall, and instead of walking over to the stall, they just stop in the middle of the path in front of everybody.
I hate that, yeah.
I hate when people do that.
Texter writes, Lonzo, it's awkward being awkward.
But in a place where everyone's awkward, no one should be awkward.
That's not a double negative, though.
No.
That's not how that
Did you get
works.
what I'm saying? If
I mean,
you,
I get what you're saying.
if you feel out of place and what you are is not normal, you go to a place where everyone is like you, then you should no longer be awkward. and it just doesn't. And then I'm just talking about walking. Okay, that's all I'm talking about. I'm not talking about anything else. I'm just talking about just trying to get from here to there.
Yeah,
that's
just,
all I'm
just
talking
walking, even strolling down the street.
about. Yes, that's all I'm talking about. That's it. All right, it is time. It is absolutely time. What happened to my pen? There it is. All right, it is time for us to get to whittle this thing down. All right. So we'll spend a little bit of time on our Elite Eight. Then we're just going to zoom through it because
Elite Eight.
Yes,
I like it.
that's how that works in
That's sports talk, Tim.
Thank you, Pappy. Pappy
I
gets
like it.
Yeah,
I got
yeah,
it.
but
I've
you
been
act like
around sports for thousands of years.
yeah, he was back when the Greeks wrestled naked.
Now, speaking of which,
It was manly.
Yes, it was.
Skylar is now getting into sports, which is
Good.
really cool.
Good. If you need some advice or help or something, Brandon's here. He'll take care of you. Anyway, I'm not helping.
Well, no, he's getting into basketball, and I used to be into all that, so it's really kind of
I
cool.
played basketball in
When
college.
they
or in
cry,
high
make
school.
them go.
Look at
harder.
that. Look at that. Matthew said he played basketball in high
Well,
school.
he's currently in the debate of the greatest player that's ever lived with everybody.
Okay, whether it's LeBron or Michael Jordan.
Yeah, or Kobe. Yeah,
I don't know why they put Kobe in there.
Kobe was.
Yeah,
He was almost
He
there.
does. All right, calm down, Brandon. This isn't a sports show, but he does not belong in the conversation with those two. All right, let's get to our bracket. Let's start at the beginning. All right, one of these, I'm not surprised it's in the final 8. The other one, still a little upset that it beat out another one, but it's there, and I consider it the Cinderella. I really do. There's a Cinderella on one side, and then I believe there's a Cinderella on the other side. This is a Cinderella from this side. So we have Final Fantasy versus Guitar Hero. Again, Guitar Hero, the original. If you ever wanted to be in a band, which I was in a band at the time when it came out. So, I mean, didn't play guitar, but I still was in a band. And everyone wants to be the guitarist. But you know what people want to be more than the guitarist? They want to be the lead singer. And you know what you couldn't do in Guitar Hero? You could not sing. You could do that in Rock Band, but people in this room decided that Guitar Hero was better and made it go to a tie. And then people on the stream decided that Guitar Hero was better than Rock Band.
It was really funny.
And I will say that every single one of you was absolutely wrong. Okay. Because Rock Band far superior to Guitar Hero, but it's here. We're here. Okay. We are here. Guitar Hero is in the Elite 8 going up against Final Fantasy. By the way, did I tell you guys what I got from Comic-Con?
Yeah.
Did I tell you what I got from Comic-Con?
Can you see like the
I don't know.
jealousy just pouring down my face right now?
Oh yeah.
So is this any indication of where I'm going to vote? I don't know. But you know what we're going to find out? Where Tim's going to vote. All right, Tim, Final Fantasy or Destiny? Feel free to expound on your love of
Guitar Hero.
No, Guitar Hero. Sorry. I tried really hard. So Final Fantasy or Guitar Hero, feel free to expound on your love of Final Fantasy.
Okay,
Yes.
so obviously I'm going.
Yes,
I'm going Final Fantasy.
I am sensitive. It's the time for sensitivity right now.
So the sword that he's wielding is from, like I said, the 1997 classic PS1 game Final Fantasy VII. That's right. Look at it in all of its glory.
I'm not giving it to you. I was trying to hit you with it.
Anyways, so Final Fantasy is this game. That game isn't the first Final Fantasy I played, but it is the first Final Fantasy that I beat. And it was the hardest one that I played. It's a really important game to me. I really love that game. It got me into gaming.
Point of contention, really quick. 7 was a piece of cake.
No, it was pretty hard.
It was
pretty hard for a 12-year-old.
Okay, that's different. All right.
It was pretty hard for a 12-year-old.
Continue. 10 far more difficult than 7. But
well, I mean, I just figured I had to figure everything out on my own. I didn't have a walkthrough. I didn't have internet.
What do you need a walkthrough or an internet for? That's what games are for.
Exactly.
If you have to cheat, then
exactly.
I think that
it wasn't. That's
hurts your gamer tag, man.
But that's what I'm saying. It's not like it was today for me then when I was playing it. So like it's just one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite titles.
We had to play the game like the game was, How do I win this Pong game? Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII. If you haven't played it, it's so cheap now. You can play it on almost any system.
Play the remake. The old one is horrible as far
don't play the remake.
Yeah.
Don't play the remake.
The old one is.
I mean, you can play the remake. Just play the the original
the
one
original first
first,
because it's
and
better.
then play the
Well,
remake.
if you like 8-bit or whatever it's in, I mean, go ahead. These guys are into
it's
nostalgia.
not
No,
all
it's on
8-bit.
PlayStation 1. What do you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it might
it
as well
actually has
be.
really decent cutscenes in
By
it.
the way,
It's 3D.
it's the inferior of all of the Final Fantasies. It might as well be Minecraft when you're looking visually.
Oh my god!
Yeah. So
Coming from somebody who's probably never even played it.
what? 7?
Yeah,
I
You
just
beat it.
I just said I beat it.
you beat it, and you're like so you didn't even talk about the cutscenes. The cutscenes aren't
The
8-bit.
The cutscenes are horrible. They really are.
They're not 8-bit though.
They might as well be. All right.
They were good for the time that they were in.
All right. So it shows you how much Tim listened. I said I beat it.
fact,
I said
yeah.
I beat it. All right. So Tim went with Final Fantasy. Matthew, who you got?
So I don't know how the heck Guitar Hero made it to the Elite 8, but it sure is there. But I'm not going with it. I'm definitely going with Final Fantasy. Absolutely love, especially the classic Final Fantasies before they went into sci-fi
Mhm.
side of things.
Those
And
are
I
all
ab-
good too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I love the Bravely Default games, which are the spiritual successors from the same company,
Mhm.
same team that did the original Final Fantasies, and absolutely some of my
Did-
favorites.
Did you play Dragon Quest
Yeah, Dragon
Yeah.
Quest. I'm the reason that Dragon Quest is on
on the
thing-
list?
on the list because I specifically added it to the thing.
Yeah.
I was like, Lonzo, please add Dragon Quest,
Yeah,
And
Dragon
Dragon
And-
Quest.
And I
and it
did.
didn't make it, but that's
Also
all right.
made by Square.
Same company.
Not only did it
different
make
dev
it, but
teams,
I didn't even put it on the play-in. I put it right in because you
Yep.
requested it. All right, Cameron.
I feel like this is just, it goes without saying, Final Fantasy, just because I'm still salty about Rock Band as well. Because Rock Band just is a better game.
Mm-hmm.
Because
All
there's
right.
just more to it. It's just the same game, but better.
Hey, you know what?
Drums
I
and-
actually feel bad about that one.
Yeah,
I
well,
do.
you should because
You
it was your
should.
fault. All right, so
The word of the day,
was very
guys, is
funny.
indignation.
yes.
It was funny.
So near the end of this thing, we can really get into our feels and let you know how much we really are upset by some choices that some people made.
The amount of vitriol that's about to happen.
Yes, and I'm not so sure that they were made for honest reasons. I think they were made to hurt people in this room. And that's hard to believe that anyone in this room would try to hurt the other guy. We're a band of brothers. We're the nerd herd.
I don't know
Why
what
would
he's
we want to
talking
do
about.
that stuff? All right. I also am going with Final Fantasy because Guitar Hero should
Ooh, a
not
clean
have
sweep.
beat. But I'm going for Final Fantasy for the far superior game, Final Fantasy X. And Unalesca. Much better than 7 because 7 was
Why did you just say Unalesca out of
I did because she was awesome. That's
I'll,
why.
I'll say that Final Fantasy X was fun. It was
Final
good.
Fantasy X's final boss much harder.
Lightning sure is
Sin-
one of the Final Fantasy characters of all time.
Sin,
What?
Sin is definitely
Have you never
the,
heard that turn of
the
phrase?
harder
Yes.
of the harder of the bosses. All right, let's get to our next pick.
Threw up in my mouth a little. Sorry.
After the break, let's go to break. And we're really got to get into this and get this thing moving because we got 3 more matchups in the 8, and we got to get it down further. You are listening to a bunch of guys arguing about video games here on News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of nerddom.
I know, Steven, if Tim and I were here, it would have been a tie. But neither of us could make it last week, unfortunately.
And the thing is, people would have picked Diablo just to make you guys mad. So it would have Diablo would have went through anyway.
Well, no, both of y'all went for Diablo.
Right. It would have been a tie.
Yeah.
And they would have picked Diablo just to make you guys mad.
I'm not so sure. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see
Exactly,
either one
Viper.
make it through, though.
Exactly. It's a
Because
superior game just
Zelda
because
is
of
such
Blitzball.
a popular
I mean,
franchise, and
Blitzball
there's
was
so
so
much
much
support
better
in the
than.
chat.
No, yeah. I
that
mean,
we've
I
had
like
for the
I
Zelda
like
franchise.
10.
Here's the
I
other
just
thing.
I
I
would not
wouldn't
be
say
surprised
it's
to
my
see.
favorite out of all.
Exactly.
I
That's
bought
what
I
I'm saying.
bought
There's enough
7 early
favor
on,
for
started
both
playing. I was like, man, this
that I would
game
not be surprised to
sucks.
see
It's
either.
probably
And so I
my-
traded it back in. And then later on I played 10. And I was like, man, this game is awesome.
I would say it's my
They
fourth.
improved it so much better over 7.
It's my
And
fourth down the list.
Final Fantasy X sure is one of the Final Fantasy games of all time.
I would say it's my fourth down the list. I like the
You know,
9
if we wouldn't
and
get flagged,
tactics
I'd
so
start
much
playing
better.
Otherworld, and we
you
go
know,
at
it's a shame, Steven, you never got the opportunity. That's what happens when people call in. You know, it's not my fault. It's their fault for calling in. You know,
Mhm.
if they cared about Zelda so much, they would have come to work. That's all. That's
They
all
would
I'm
have been
saying.
here for it.
That's
10
all
isn't
I'm
bad or
saying.
anything. It's just It's just all right. It's a lot better than some of the modern Final Fantasy games.
The
God.
one
Hey,
that
hey,
I'm
Philip,
sad about.
We don't hate you, man. You don't have to. That's why there's so many different kind of games out there. There's some that you go, nah, that's not for me. You may be a sports game kind of guy, and you don't play any of the other stuff. I'm fine with that too.
The two I'm sad about that's already out that I don't think I was here to defend was
I don't hate you
Spyro
for
and
that,
Kingdom
Philip. I'm
Hearts.
just disappointed.
I was I hated that
I'm just
Fable went
disappointed.
down.
I hate that Fable went down.
There's some earlier matchups that I'm like, okay.
I almost
Resident
bought Dark
Evil beating
Souls
Witcher.
today.
That bothered me.
I almost bought it.
The
Which
first
one?
one?
No, it was the third one.
Okay, third one you got a better shot at. You should go with 3.
I'll say as far as like difficulty goes, 3 is the easiest.
Do you
and
need to
then
play
2.
them in order though, like for like story or anything?
Not really.
See,
Okay.
So you're right up Tim's alley because Tim loves first-person shooters too.
Oh yeah, I love.
Usually,
I love
if you
first-person
really
shooters,
want to
man.
get into the lore, then start with 1, then go to 3.
Mhm.
But if you start
a
with 1,
lot
you're
of-
gonna get so frustrated you're not gonna make it to 3.
you are going to get very angry.
Yeah.
With what game?
Dark
Yeah,
Souls.
see, I've
Oh, yeah.
gotten, I've seen
Dark
that.
Souls 3, I think, is a fantastic game to start with.
That's
because
what I
of
said,
how,
too, 'cause-
how smooth the controls
Oh
are
yeah.
compared to
I've
the
seen
first.
that with
Just
other
one-
franchises
are,
where you go back to
especially
the first
after
one and
playing
it's just not
3,
quite
they
as
become
good.
much clunkier
You know what? I
feeling.
played Paperboy back in the day. I didn't like it that much because I was a Paperboy, and it's
Honestly,
like
I wonder how
annoyed me
3 feels
because
like.
I played. I play games to escape. Why do
it
I want to
feels
do
really
something that I
similar.
actually have a job
See,
doing?
that's why I
biggest
didn't vote
difference
Sims. I'm
is
like,
the
nah.
fact
Yeah,
of
yeah, I
the
mean,
jump
you know,
speed,
I want to
because you
escape.
don't have any
I
kind
don't
of
want to
jumping in Dark Souls
hear about
3,
Karen down
and
the street like
gaining
with
the
Sims.
ability
No,
to jump
Yeah,
in a
dude,
I
Souls-like
mow my
game
own
lawn.
is
Why don't I
such a
mow a video
drastic
game lawn?
change, especially in gameplay, because it's a combat thing, not
It
just an
makes no
exploration
sense.
thing. So going
Makes no
back to Dark
sense to
Souls 3,
me.
because I've literally done that like at the end of last
Because
year.
then you can survive the chest high
Oh,
wall.
yeah, one more.
Yep.
But see, games
But,
are like
I
a lot of
think
us.
it's not-
it's not
some
as hard to
people
get back into
go-
as you might think.
Some people
Have you
go
seen that
fishing.
video
Yeah.
before?
Some people
Oh,
go
yeah.
fishing
Oh, the
to
chest high wall.
Yeah, but it just,
escape.
you know.
Yeah, Dark Souls does
But I
make
mean,
you
if
angry,
if that's
and that's
what you
why
like,
like the
that's
very
what you
first
like.
one,
It's
I'm
just
just
not for
like,
me, you know?
He's heading
man,
straight for the
forget
chest
this
high
game.
wall.
When
That's
you
the
when you
whole
think
reason I
you
don't
made it
like,
through, and then
Grand
the
Theft
stupid
Auto.
thing that
I
you
mean,
didn't
it's
see
basically
jumps up
Sims
and
for
kills you,
criminals.
and everything resets. That's annoying. That's very annoying.
It teaches you how to scan your surroundings. You're never safe.
I do like playing
You're always
golf.
on the verge of
Hey,
dying.
Steven,
I love
you can
playing
go
Tiger
back,
Woods.
man.
This is
You
probably
can
one
go
of my
back.
favorite sports games to play.
You can go back and try it again.
Joel Haverman.
I
what a
played
guy.
a little bit like
I hate to go back in technology.
before,
I
but
get
never
nostalgia
really
and
got, like,
everything,
super
but
into it. I'm thinking about taking it up though
like
because
I
I
played
can't skate
Fallout
much
4
anymore.
first, and everyone, oh, 3 is
And,
better, including Matthew
skateboarding
doesn't
and
like
golf have a lot in
Fallout
common,
because he
actually.
made it lose.
Because you're playing against yourself. This is that promo that keeps doing that.
What does it do?
It's like at the end, it's like 5 or 6 seconds of dead air.
We'll find out which one it is so we can fix it.
All right.
Welcome back into the Upstate Pulse. We are smack dab in the middle of our Elite Eight. I gotta say, on the air is the only time I ever use smack dab in the middle. And I just in normal conversation, I don't use that, and I don't know why I decide to use it on the air. I have no idea why I decide to use it on the air, but I do, and I'm gonna try to refrain from smacking dabbing in the middle going forward. I can't promise it.
Are you saying?
know.
No dabbing on here, please.
Yeah,
I was about to ask:
yeah.
Are you dabbing separately from the smacking, or is the smacking?
Well,
along
I'm
with
okay with
dabbing?
the smacking, but the dabbing becomes a problem because, the gun show is so tight that I can't get up in that into the
You're too swole
the
to
elbow
dab?
pit. Yeah, I'm too swole to dab. I'm not the only one in this room that has that problem. I'm sure Tim is too swole to dab also.
Dab?
Yeah,
Wait, what kind of dabs are we talking about here?
exactly.
I came in at the end of that.
Yeah. That's all right.
Okay. The fact that you don't that you were thinking of multiples has me concerned.
All right, let us move on to the next matchup. We got to get through this. All right, first let me write down final. There we go. The next matchup is the one that I don't want to do. I do not want to do this because I have a feeling that there might be a tie. And if there were a tie, we would tell you to go to the text line, which is 71307. And then the first person to text in the name of that said game, that will be the one that goes through if there were a tie. Now, I can't say for sure there'll be a tie, but I just got a feeling there might be a tie in this next matchup because this is, I think, to me, the hardest matchup in the entire Elite Eight. But that's just my opinion. And won't be shared. Hence, there probably will be a tie. All right. Well, no, actually, it would be shared. All right. So Elder Scrolls is going against Pokemon. Now, Elder Scrolls, I spend a lot of time in Skyrim. I spend a lot of time in Oblivion. I've spent a lot of time in Morrowind. So I've been on Nern for a good portion of my life. And I like it there. I do. And I can't wait to go back there and go to elsewhere or some other place. Is it one of those other places that I might get to go? In that, what did you say?
What?
Oh, he was talking to me. Don't worry about it.
All right. So anyway, I love Nern. Okay. It's a great place. And then there is Pokemon, and I enjoy Pokemon. I do. It's fun. But I know someone in here has played it probably as much as I've played Elder Scrolls, but he also plays Elder Scrolls. So this is going to be interesting. All right. I'm not going to wait and let other people vote. I'm going with Elder Scrolls. Just because especially because of the modding community, I really love it. But the original games I love too. All three of the ones that I played. And no, I haven't played the first couple, but Matthew has and likes them a great deal. So I am going with the Elder Scrolls. Cameron, what do you got?
All right. Elder Scrolls has been a part of my life since I was a child. So is Pokemon, but I like my father before me has spent a lot of time in Nern, making so many different characters, playing through the world in so many different ways, from like Morrowind to Oblivion to Skyrim to even ESO, traveling and solving quests and seeing all sorts of crazy and out there lore. Elder Scrolls is gotta be one of my favorite settings.
Jeez! Sorry.
Exactly. For Sheogorath alone. It's like, cheese for everyone! Scotch that. No cheese. Just everything from like out there Daedric gods to civil wars to the political intrigue with the Empire and the various other provinces. I mean, I just got to go with Elder Scrolls.
All right, Matthew.
So this is a really difficult matchup for me as well. These are extremely close series for me. And I think one of the big deciding factors on it for me is specifically the fact that I'm kind of opposite on Lonzo in how I consider Elder Scrolls in this bracket, because Lonzo is including mods in this, and I specifically want to look at the games without mods because that's separate. That's what the community has done. And if I was looking at this matchup including mods, absolutely I would give it over to Elder Scrolls because of the amount of amazing work that has come out of the community. It is such an amazing community to be a part of, and the games themselves, even in their vanilla states, while definitely lacking in a lot of areas, are still very fun, great times, and the lore and world of Nern is fantastic, and I love just exploring that. But Pokemon has been a franchise that has been a part of my life for an extremely long time, and if we were talking about this 5-6-ish months ago, I might be speaking a different story because a lot of Pokemon games have kind of been falling off to me lately. But the renaissance that the most recent Pokemon games, Scarlet and Violet, have given to my love of this franchise, especially my getting into the competitive scene over the past several months, I absolutely love this series, and I've got to give it over to there.
All right, before we get to Tim, let's hit the stream. Not that I'm trying to influence his vote or anything, but we want to hear from you and what you have to say. Let's see. Let's go. Viper says just not Blackreach. Well, I mean, you got to go there too.
You got to lose a companion in Blackreach.
Yeah, absolutely do. And you get out of there and go, where's Lydia? Oh,
dang it.
And then you go back in and she's just not there.
My thing?
Yeah. Philip says definitely Elder Scrolls. He also says Pokemon is great as a TV show, but for a video game, you got to go with Elder Scrolls. Chris says, I used to be a talk show host like you. Then I took an arrow to the knee, which really hurts, by the way. All the Pokemon games are the same according to Tones. The monsters and maps change, but the games are the same. Steve says
agree and disagree.
Steve says Pikemon, which I think is a totally different game.
Pokemon
and Viper Dave
monsters.
Viper Dave says Mike knows much and tells much. Mike knows many things others do not.
Mike knows much and tells some. Mike knows many things others do not.
Yeah, I was not gonna. I'm not gonna use my Khajiit voice when there's someone else who could do better.
Mike, I'm asking for directions, dadgummit.
Yeah. All right.
Where's Whiterun?
All right, Tim.
I'm gonna go ahead and be honest with y'all. I ain't never played either one of these. I was not a big Pokemon fan growing up. And Elder Scrolls, I just haven't gotten to yet. But for my son's sake, because he is a huge Pokemon fan, I'm going with Pokemon.
All right, here we go. Text line 71307. When we give you the countdown,
Thanks, Skylar.
Then you can
Thank you,
text
Skylar.
in.
And I am counting on you, Steven. You're the only person in the chat that is supporting me here, please.
All right, so don't do that. I mean, no, do whatever you think is
Did you count
necessary to
down
get
yet?
the vote. No, I did not.
Okay.
So all you people have wasted your text if you sent it in already, because I had to wait till there's exact chill.
Well, it's gonna be a close one.
All right,
man.
all right.
Wait until you see the whites of
All
their
right,
eyes.
we need some chill here.
Oh, yeah.
All right, I know it's an 80s term, but I'm an 80s kid.
All right, chill.
I need some chill. I'm actually a 70s kid, but teenage years were in the 80s. All right, so we're getting some chill here. All right, countdown. 3, 2, 1. First person to text either Elder Scrolls or Pokemon. That's the game that goes through. Text line 71307. Elder Scrolls or Pokemon. Which one are you going with? Which one's going through? Whose heart is going to be broken? Is it going to be mine? Is it going to be Matthew's?
So wait.
71307. That's okay.
They all got the text in before the countdown.
And now they're
Pokemon.
Let's go! Yeah!
I gotta say, I'm not surprised. Hopefully we got some Elder Scrolls texts later, but maybe we didn't. I don't know. I'm hurt. I'm really hurt, but I'm going to get through this. You know why? Because I'm a radio professional. I'm award-winning broadcast professional. I gotta point out. Yeah, I'm with you, Philip. The stream is unhappy with this, with the texters doing this, but I knew it would come to a tie. I agree. Tone says boo, and
The text line did steal our
yes.
sweet roll.
And
I love you, random citizen.
Steven.
That's not how you spell your.
Steven, go ahead and take credit for it. It could have been you. And that's fine if it was. And if it was you, Steven, I'm not surprised. All right, let's move on to our next matchup, which is Diablo versus Borderlands. All right, so Borderlands made it through this far. This is my other Cinderella. I didn't think it would make it as far as it has. And I know how much Cameron loves this game. And I love Chris Rager. And I think he's an awesome voice actor. And the biggest goofball you've ever seen, if you've ever had him to interview. And we've got to see his entire house.
We really ought to repost that interview.
Yeah, we got to see his entire house. But as we talked about last week with our sponsor, Rob Young from Borderlands Comics and Games, who puts on an excellent South Carolina Comicon, which you can go to tomorrow, since today's over. I love our sponsors. I really do. I especially love Rob Young from Borderlands Comics and Games and South Carolina Comicon, because his most favorite game of all time, and he has a really good gaming knowledge, which shocked me a little bit, and it shouldn't have last week when he was on the show. The other two guys were not, because they decided to call off. I can't go against Rob because it's his favorite game, and he's our sponsor. And so, I would never go against the sponsor.
Technically, you're not going against either way, because on one side, you're voting alongside your sponsor's favorite game. On the other side, you're voting alongside the name of our sponsor's business.
There is that. You can look at it that way. You absolutely could. All right. So Diablo is one of the games, along with Skyrim, which just got voted out, that I have on every single system that I have, including Switch, PlayStation, Xbox,
man,
computer,
just able to play it anywhere and everywhere.
Yes, and all different versions, all purchased, different games.
Yeah.
Every game purchased. So
I have that same thing with Call of Duty.
So it's a couple $100 worth of stuff right there. Obviously, I'm not going to tell you who I'm going with. Cameron, who you got?
Well, I gotta say, I do love Borderlands, but Diablo has been in my life since I was a little kid. It's one of my favorite games of all time. It's probably one of the franchises I put the most hours in, especially 2. Because like a lot of my childhood was spent on that old computer, just playing through as a necromancer, just enjoying myself. So, and I've played the open. I've played the open beta
something
for
about
Diablo 4.
raising the dead.
So something about keeping life eternal.
Yes. All right. So Cameron's going with Diablo.
And besides, how could you not go wrong with killing demons endlessly?
Well, there you go.
I'm just doing my duty.
You're trying to take care of demons. That's what you're doing. You're saving humanity by by killing the devil.
How could you go wrong with that?
Yeah. Well, you can go wrong if you lose, but
yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
there's that.
So don't lose.
But you do have the angels on your side. Well, some of them.
Yeah,
on
some
your
of them.
side. Some of them on your side.
Others, not so much.
All right, Tim, who you got?
I never thought I would actually say this, but I'm trying to think ahead here, and I'm going to go with Borderlands.
No.
Have you played Diablo?
Yes.
And you play Borderlands?
Yes.
You hesitated.
And you're choosing, I saw hesitation.
No, I did. I played both of them.
The point, he's trying to think ahead, so he's
Yeah,
trying.
so
he's
trying to
to
guess
cause,
what I'm gonna vote.
He's trying to cause chaos.
I
All
don't know what y'all are talking about.
All right, Matthew.
Well,
It's that vengeance thing.
you
that
thought
we
you were
talking
thinking
about.
ahead, and you know what? You kind of were a little bit. I love both of these franchises. They're both fantastic, but I've got a little bit more of enjoyment out of Borderlands. I think, especially Borderlands 2, as a fantastic series, and I'm definitely going to go on that side.
All right, this is a vengeance thing, obviously. But
I did
but that's
say that
fine.
I never thought I would hear myself say this.
Yeah. So
this is all obviously some sort of
I will tell
strategic move.
I will tell you, we have a tie, and we're going to get to the countdown in a moment. But first, I need to let Tim know that I'm going to have several menial tasks for him to do next week. And I will come up with things. They might involve a toothbrush in this very studio. It might actually happen. You
Getting
never-
revenge on your boss is never a good idea.
Yeah, I
Sam.
just want to say that
You'll always lose.
There have been complaints about the cleanliness of the studio, and you're going to get to take care of that. And I'm sure everyone appreciates that. Give us a countdown, Cameron.
3, 2, 1.
Diablo or Borderlands? Text line 71307. Diablo or Borderlands?
Borderlands.
All right.
All right, we're going to take a break while I seethe. If you don't know what seething is, then you should check us out on Twitch, Twitter,
I
YouTube,
don't want a
or Facebook.
toothbrush.
Thanks for the vote, Tim. Have fun cleaning.
All right, you're listening to the Upstate Pulse right here on News Talk 98.9 WRD, the voice of the Carolinas. Yeah. Not gonna lie, I am upset about this.
Sorry, man. I'm sorry. I thought they were going to push Diablo through.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
You didn't.
You said, "I'm thinking ahead."
Thinking ahead, which means you were working for the tie, which is why I asked you if you played both games.
Hey, Tim,
So
who shot Hannibal?
You didn't pick the game you liked the best. You picked the game that would make me mad.
No, I didn't. I am thinking of
Whatever, Steven.
for the game that I
It
want
is
to win
revenge.
this
Whatever,
thing.
Steven. It's all about
Absolutely.
Zelda. It's all about Zelda. Final Fantasy's going down now. I'm making sure it goes down. It is not winning. It is not getting past Pokemon, the best
All right,
game
we'll
in the
see.
entire world.
My
We'll see.
biggest mistake so far this year was running a Smash Brothers tournament live stream instead of being here to vote for Zelda last week.
I wasn't here to vote for Kingdom Hearts. So.
Not really though. I had a really fun time with that last
I'm not
week.
talking to the stream. They can do it.
But I am sad that Zelda didn't make
He's
it
so
through.
salty right now.
Salty is not the word I'm thinking.
Him trying to get the Pokemon to the finals.
Yeah,
believe
definitely
Vengeance is
not.
not.
yours. Mine has
I'll
made
let
it through
you know.
every single one of these so far.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I can't read your lips. Yeah, I can't. You can tell me later.
Borrow the Buster Sword for a second.
I am trusting.
But like I
Fox.
said when I was talking about Pokemon versus Elder Scrolls, like it was a really close matchup. And if it wasn't for Scarlet and Violet renewing my love for the series, I
Steven,
would have probably gone for
I don't
Elder Scrolls.
care. Okay.
You broke his heart, Steven.
Hello, Keith. Love you, cousin. Everybody else, I'm not so sure about.
For Pokemon to lose? Oh, I don't expect Pokemon to beat Final
is
Fantasy.
there-
Oh,
Everybody think-
Pokemon's going to win this whole thing now.
Oh, no, it's not.
Yes, it will.
No, it's not.
You'll see.
Oh gosh. I'm honestly not sure which one I would vote for between Pokemon and Final Fantasy.
Steven says yes, vengeance for Zelda. That's awesome.
You can
I
try-
agree.
You can try, Mark. Now Pokemon wins the whole thing. Okay.
I didn't think so.
Or Dark Souls wins the whole thing if it makes it through the next matchup. I'm just, you know what? I'm done. I'm finished. All my games are out. You know, it's time for me to do that thing that I got to do.
No.
I'm a fan of a lot of series,
No.
so I definitely had a lot of opportunities to be happy.
No, we're good.
I'm having increasingly
Lonzo
less
uses mirror
opportunities.
coat. Oh no. True though.
Did you put that there?
This is a Destiny reference, but Enrage is near.
Yeah.
Also, why do I hear Doom music?
It's the very last thing. Close those here.
I'm not mad at you.
Okay?
I tried to defend Diablo.
Yeah. You went with your
I
honesty
went with my heart here.
and your heart, and I knew where he was going. This is
Yeah.
on him.
It was not me. It was the text line too.
No. It was you. You see, there's this thing where you don't tell people what you're doing before you do it, and you did.
I am blatantly doing this thing.
Yes, I'm thinking ahead to where I make someone very angry.
This is my plan. You
Is it Keith?
monologued.
I have to check that out. You know, I saw the Bat Pope again
You
today.
saw it.
and no, I
Dog,
would
you
not
caught
get a
me
picture with
See,
him.
I don't
I'm
know what he's
scared.
talking about because
You should.
there's
You
really
should,
no
Philip.
plan here.
You should, Philip. Use your thumb. Make him disappear. Don't really make him disappear because someone will have to do his job. Ohio's 80 degrees. It was 80 degrees here too. So,
Dude, don't make him disappear because somebody will have to do his job. Wow.
I am not speaking to you right now.
That's fun.
I wish the ring general was here right now because someone would get a job. Welcome back into the Upstate Pulse, where someone is about to see something they've never seen before, and that is Lonzo on a mission. And I when I have a mission, I'm usually pretty successful at that mission, and I have one, including the fact that someone owes us a noob.
Why do I owe you a noob?
Because you played the outro, and also because I could make you double noob because you just faded the music way too quick. But it's more about the outro that you played last hour. I was going to let it go. I was going to let it go.
Tim,
He's so
the
salty right
slider
now.
on the difficulty, you moved it twice.
Yeah,
So
it's
salty.
okay,
So
it's
salty.
okay.
Okay,
Upward
here you go. Here you go.
direction.
Here we go.
All right. See, if you didn't say a word like I'm thinking, if you didn't say I'm thinking ahead, then none of this would be a problem.
But it wasn't against you.
Wasn't it though, Tim?
It was not personal.
It
No.
was. I think it was pretty.
It was not
personal. Yes,
personal.
I believe it was personal.
Well, you can think what you want, but it wasn't.
By the way, don't you be taking this serious?
I'm
Because you
not.
look like you're starting to take this serious.
I'm not.
All right. The next matchup is Dark Souls versus Star Wars. Dark Souls, very difficult game we were talking about earlier on the stream, which you can check us out on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, or YouTube. Just go to either News Talk 98.9 or go to the Upstate Pulse. Upstate Pulse, you're going to get a little bit more because YouTube and Twitch is working on that. And you guys are coming, and we love you guys. Text line 71307. I'm about to shut the text line down, though, because you hurt me. You hurt me. You cut me deeply. You cut me as if you took the sword that's behind me and cleaved my soul.
Don't
My
worry,
very
don't worry,
soul.
text line. I got
Not
you right
only
in
my
front of me.
soul, but my very soul. And there's a difference. Very soul is deeper than your soul. All right, the next matchup, Dark Souls versus Star Wars. Star Wars, it's any Star Wars game that you were into. Maybe it's KOTOR, SWOTOR. The thing where, Sam Witwer was what was that?
Unleashed.
Force Unleashed, or some of the newer games. There's so many Star Wars games. It's unbelievable. And then there's Dark Souls where you just die a lot. I like Dark Souls. I loved Elden Ring. Spent a lot of time in it, but I spent more time in Star Wars. I'm going with Star Wars. Cameron, who are you going with?
All right, this is a really tough decision for me. But I gotta say, as far as like the concentrated quality of games, I'm gonna have to give it to Dark Souls because Elden Ring was amazing and probably now up there with one of my favorite games of all time. Just everything from gameplay to aesthetics to lore to just how out there it was.
All right, we get it. Matthew, what do you want?
I also see this as a pretty difficult matchup, very close. A lot of great Star Wars games out there, a lot of great memories that I have going through a lot of those games. Dark Souls, though, is just one of those games that really, really clicked with me the first time I played it. And especially they've only gotten better every single entry, every time that I've gone back to them and everything. And especially with Elden Ring coming out was a fantastic experience. I've got to go with the Dark Souls franchise.
All right, so Chris says, noob Matthew too. He deserves it with his anti-Skyrim ways. He's probably a Thalmor, and he probably is a Thalmor. All right.
I could see him as a high elf.
Nope, Dunmer.
I'm going Star Wars.
Dunmer or Breton. Those are my two favorite races.
All right.
Dark elf bros.
All right. By
Force
the way,
Unleashed, bro.
All the anger and everything aside, if we're going to crown this thing, we got to move through it because we have one more break. Tim goes Star Wars. I also go Star Wars. So we have a tie. Text line 71307. Star Wars or Dark Souls? Star Wars or Dark Souls? Countdown 3, 2, 1. Star Wars or Dark Souls? Text 71307. Get those texters and fingers going so we can move through this and crown a champion. Star Wars or Dark Souls? Let us know who you want to be the game that goes to. Text line 71307.
Star Wars.
All right.
Battlefront rules and included in that.
Yes, Battlefront is awesome.
Oh, that's a good one to go off.
It definitely is.
Oh, yeah.
I don't normally like multiplayer stuff, but that's pretty fun.
Battlefront was fun.
All right, so we are down to our final four. Final Fantasy versus Pokemon, Borderlands versus Star Wars. You know what? Let's go ahead and take our final break. And we're not going to do lightning round because we're going to come back and we're going to crown a champion. You're listening to the Upstate Pulse right here on News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas. It's so much to say. The voice of the Carolinas.
Oh, that one hurt.
Okay.
But it's Star Wars.
Oh, yeah. Like again, when we've gotten to this Elite 8, basically everything except for the Guitar Hero, absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. It's
Like,
like
I
everything
would've-
belongs here.
Yeah, I would have rather seen Zelda over Diablo, but otherwise, all fantastic options.
I'm gonna put a rejoin.
I will let Rob Young know that you
Because
guys
he
voted
said
out
that
Diablo.
he
He's going to
wanted
be very
to
disappointed.
do. He don't want to do.
Make sure you tell the Exalted One.
No,
that
I will let
voted
him
in
know.
his
I'll let him
favor.
know where we stood. I mean, he knows. He knows where he knows that we're behind him, but everybody else, not so much.
All right.
Are there more promos in there, or is that just it?
This is the one.
Okay. If there were more promos, I would have told you to kill it. We still should have enough time to get through this, though.
Yeah.
All right. So if we have time, we're gonna crown our champion, and we'll try to finish up by talking Mandalorian. There's the next Star Wars game right there.
Looking forward to it. It's like in 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, it's in a couple weeks. April 28th.
What is it that's coming out again?
Jedi Survivor.
Jedi Survivor.
That's right. That's right.
Did you ever play Fallen Order?
Oh, I can't wait for that. I want to play.
Yeah,
that
Trey
so
says
bad.
that too. I'm looking forward to
Might
Jedi
stream it.
Survivor.
I like how
Sweet.
everyone went into
I'm glad you're getting back into that, Keith. Can't wait to hopefully get a chance to read them.
Fallen Order and was like, haha, it's just Dark Souls, haha. And then like actually started getting into it and was like, wait, this isn't a joke. This is literally just Dark Souls.
Well, I mean, it was still a good game.
Oh no, yeah, absolutely. But it was just funny to me that everybody was like, haha, Souls-like joke. Only to realize it literally was just Dark Souls. Straight up ripped up the controls and everything for it.
Of course, it's not a bad
I did
thing.
write
in this
that.
case.
No, yeah, of course. It's
What?
still a great
I
game.
wrote that
I'm
card
just
down.
I just
Okay.
found the situation of that. The online realization funny.
No. What was it?
It's a Odyssey audio network.
Rogue Squadron on
Okay, we just need
GameCube
to
was
put
really
a
fun.
EOM at the end of it.
Okay, can you show me how to do that?
Or we
Also,
can
if you
just
guys
cut out
ever
the
played
end of it.
Squadrons,
I didn't know if I
Best
could do that and it
VR
would stay that way.
port I have ever played of any sort of
Unless
game.
it replenishes,
Do
you
that
can
with
go
a
into the
HOTAS?
quick
I
edit
mean,
and just cut the
that
end
is the
out,
most
or you can
immersive
just put an EOM.
Oh, yeah.
VR experience I've ever had.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Oh,
Thalmor conspiracy.
Someone is a rat.
Someone is a rat.
We got a rat
Matthew.
in here. We're gonna have to find out who the
who's
rat
the
is.
rat? Who's the rat?
Somebody in here is a rat.
Gnawing, heaving rat.
Don't worry, Matthew's a Telvanni.
Hogwarts is a really good game. I can-
almost bought that today.
I can
Almost
beat it
did.
right now, but I'm told that I need to get a couple more levels. My daughter's beat it. She said have to get to a certain level to get the
What
final
level are you on?
cutscene.
I think that was Terrace Kasi, right, Trey?
I'm
Is
like,
it like a leveling system? Like
I remember that's like when they
you go,
introduced that.
it's like any
I remember
RPG
that.
thing. You go up, and then you pick your stats and all that kind of
would you
stuff.
ever play Edge of Eternity? You would like that because it's got a sphere grid, just like 10.
I like some sphere grids and the other ones I'm not. I think it just depends on the game.
It depends on the sphere grid.
That one
yes,
doesn't seem
yes,
bad, though.
Trey. The game with Mara J. Do you remember the name of that game?
I don't.
But I know we played it.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
played it.
and-
I can
and
see
loved
it in my
it,
mind's
yeah.
eye. I don't know why I said it like that, but
I want to go back and beat Star Ocean. I never beat
almost
that
see
game.
it
Got to the end of it,
in my
never beat it.
mind's eye.
I think I've played. There are multiples of those.
Edge
isn't
of
there?
Eternity, yeah, this one that everybody seems to like.
No, I think I played that. Now that you say that, I don't think I.
Yeah,
beat
Edge of Eternity is probably the best one.
Masters of Terrace Kasi. I knew it had Terrace Kasi in the name. I got my butt kicked so much in that game.
Welcome back into the Upstate Pulse. We're trying to finish up our video game bracket. If you were wondering at home, Tim is Irwin right now to me. That's all I'm saying.
I was thinking the same
Yeah,
thing.
Tim is
actually.
Irwin. Tim is without a doubt Irwin. Can't get this thing off, yo. If you don't know what we're talking about, then you should watch it. That's the best episode.
We're gonna keep flying in
I
this
believe the
direction.
name of the episode is When Mandy Smiles. I could be wrong, but that is what happens. She smiles and breaks the universe.
Yep.
All right, so our final four is as follows: Final Fantasy versus Pokemon, and Borderlands versus Star Wars. Let us go with the first matchup of Final Fantasy and Pokemon. Matthew, who you got?
This is a really close matchup for me, but for brevity's sake, for time's sake, if not for Scarlet and Violet, this would go to Final Fantasy, but that renewed love for Pokemon and the competitive scene for it, I've got to go with Pokemon.
All right, Cameron.
Also a hard one. Crap. I
Need to make a choice
Here's the thing.
because we've got 8
all right.
minutes left.
I gotta go with my heart on this one. I'm gonna go with Final Fantasy because I've played a lot more of that than Pokemon.
All right, I am going to go with the game that I spent a lot of time with my children playing, starting out with the Game Boy Advance. And then later on, a little game came about that someone, I believe it was Trey on the stream, mentioned, and it was Pokemon Go. And we had a lot of time, a lot of fun time going out. We went to the Lawrence Park, which we haven't actually been there before.
Yeah.
And we were just out, walking through the park together, me and my children, playing Pokemon Go. And it was a lot of fun. And everyone on the show played it, really enjoyed it. Obviously, I am a Final Fantasy fan, but Pokemon Go reminds me of my children, and I love them dearly. So I'm going with Pokemon.
Final Fantasy.
All right, we have a tie. Text line 71307. Final Fantasy or Pokemon? Here's your countdown. 3, 2, 1. Text in. Pokemon or Final Fantasy? Who you got? Pokemon or Mon or Final Fantasy?
Pokemon.
Text line
Pokemon.
71307. Let us know who's going through. Pokemon or Final Fantasy?
Didn't you say Pokemon 1?
No.
Oh,
No,
okay.
no,
I
no.
thought you
Final
were saying
Fantasy.
that because it came through.
Final
No.
Fantasy got it.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Why
There
did
you
you say
go.
Pokemon then?
Because he said Pokemon.
Yeah.
Oh,
He was
okay.
laughing at Dad, who was saying it.
Oh, okay.
incorrectly.
he
You
said
see, I'm like,
Pokemon.
All right.
Like,
There's a
I thought you
layer
were
in
saying
there.
it
All right, guys. All right.
Chill.
Let's rein it in. The next matchup is Star Wars versus Borderlands. I'm going to go ahead and say Star Wars. Tim, who you got?
Star Wars.
All right, Cameron.
Also Star Wars.
Borderlands.
Okay, there we go. So there's our matchup: Star Wars versus Final Fantasy. All right. We've got 5 minutes to crown a champion here. I will say, when I put this bracket together, the final that I thought would happen would be Final Fantasy on one side and either Star Wars or Batman on the other side. I was a little shocked that Batman got taken out. There's a big love of Batman on this program, or there used to be. The OGs would have definitely picked Batman over anything because we were more Batman centric, I guess. So
we have since gone.
So
from the
this
way.
thing has went kind of the way I wanted, not the way I wanted, the way I thought it would go. And I knew that more than likely the game or games that I really wanted to win would not, because this is how video games work. You're either passionate. It's a passion thing. What you're into, what you get lost into. When I go home and I'm in an extreme pain that I don't talk about, video games take my mind off of it. Or if I've had a stressful day working with people that I don't get along with, which is not happening right now, despite everything that you hear. I love Tim dearly, and I love Rob Brown dearly. So, and
well, I love you too, man. That's awesome.
And Matthew's all right. So,
hi, Dad.
Yeah, that goes without saying, Cameron. So Star Wars versus Final Fantasy. In the end, although I love Final Fantasy and I talked about how greatly that I do love Final Fantasy, Star Wars is still Star Wars, and I cannot go against it. Whether it's SWTOR and me on a speeder going through Tatooine, Cameron and I coming up over a hill and seeing a bunch of guys getting ready to take out a bunch of Sith guys. And
no, we were the Sith.
Oh, were we the Sith? I don't remember.
And we wrecked the Jedi.
But it was
day.
cool. Us and a bunch of other players just sitting on the hill on swoop bikes, just looking down and getting ready to go down. That was great. And
the Battle of the Dune Sea, it was amazing.
And KOTOR, just when you went Sith and saw everybody turn evil, and you could see the subtle signs as they slowly started to change. And there was Bastila, and she was awesome.
And that is pretty cool in the games. Yeah.
I too like Bastila.
But someone mentioned Star Wars Battlefront earlier. Fun game. There's so many games, Star Wars wise, that there are more Star Wars games than there are Final Fantasy games. And plus Star Wars from my youth, I mean, 4, 5, and 6 came out when I was a senior in high school, I think is when a Return of the Jedi happened. So, and I know but the games are influenced by those. And because of that deep love, I'm going with Star Wars. Cameron, who you got?
I'm going to have to go with Star Wars because there's just so many different boxes that they check with all the different genres that they inhabit. It's this all-encompassing thing of wonderful amounts of games and wonderful quality games, from strategy to first-person shooter to RPGs. So Star Wars gets my vote.
All right. Philip says it should have been Final Fantasy against Elder Scrolls. They were both on the same side.
Yeah, they were on the same. That would have had to be semis.
All right, Matthew, who you got?
Star Wars has some fantastic games, but Final Fantasy, and specifically the classic Final Fantasies and the spiritual successor Bravely Default, absolutely some of my absolute top favorite JRPGs of all time, and JRPGs are some of my favorite games of all time. So I've got to go with Final Fantasy on this.
All right, do your thing, Tim. Hurry.
I'm just gonna make this nice and fast and just go Final Fantasy.
All right, we have a tie. 71307. If you do not get it through before the end of the show, then you'll have to stay tuned to the stream to find out who the winner is. Text line 71307 321. There's your countdown. Star Wars or Final Fantasy? The first one to text it through, that is the champion. Star Wars or Final Fantasy. Going down to the wire with just a little bit of time left in the show.
Feels fitting to go to the text vote for the champions.
Yeah, it does.
All
actually.
right. Text line 71307. Star Wars or Final Fantasy. Are you watching the clock? I'm just asking if you're watching the clock.
I don't like to hear that.
Yeah.
Star Wars got it.
All right, there we go. Star Wars is the champion for...
Star Wars shouldn't have beaten Dark Souls, to be honest.
Okay. That's your opinion. I differ on that opinion. All right, I want to thank everybody for listening to the show, for participating. And no, I'm not mad at anybody. All right, I'm a little hurt, but I'll get over it.
Yeah, I'm a little scarred, but
I'm not mad,
okay.
I'm just disappointed.
Please
I'm
check
just glad
out...
that Final Fantasy beat Borderlands, because Sephiroth got kicked out of the last one by Handsome Jack.
All right, please check out South Carolina Comic-Con Day 2 tomorrow. Come on over to Greenville Convention Center. We're going to be there for the cosplay contest, which is around 3:30. Come up and say hey. And otherwise, have a great weekend, everyone. All right, so before we sign off, when you guys looked at the original bracket, what did you think would win?
I thought that it was going to come down to either Final Fantasy or Elder Scrolls on the left, and I thought it was going to come down to either Zelda or Dark Souls on the right, and I thought that Dark Souls was probably going to win.
I was thinking that it was either going to be Dark Souls or Star Wars for that particular side of the bracket versus Diablo. A lot of that just becomes a toss-up after that. There's just no telling.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Tim, who did you think would win?
I honestly thought Diablo was going to make it all the way to the end. But I wanted Final Fantasy in the final, and I got that, which is really cool.
Oh, yeah.
But the 3 games that I really wanted to see win were Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy, and Spyro.
All right, so obviously I wanted Elder Scrolls to win the whole thing, but I never thought for a second that it would. I'm shocked it got as far as it did because Matthew has mentioned his disdain for certain parts of it.
It kind of sucked.
He's gonna make this lose somehow.
It kind of sucked because all my favorite games were all on the same side.
And the storytelling and
like
quest
I had to
design,
choose
dungeon
one.
design in Elder Scrolls games. They're really fun, but there are a lot of issues, especially when you go into replays. Now, when you put mods into it, absolutely one of the super up there, but I specifically was looking without mods whatsoever because I didn't want to factor that into the game.
Yeah, so every year people get upset. Why isn't this on the list? Or
Yeah,
how in the world could that get through? Only so many games make it through, or so many. I mean, when we did sci-fi fantasy, when we did sitcoms, when we've done these things every single year, it is it's difficult, and I'm not going to be able to make everybody happy. I just can't. This year, I tried a little bit harder by having a play-in and getting a bunch of games that I didn't pick originally in there that Matthew and Cameron came up with. I think Tim
one
came
thing
up
that
with it
really
too.
helped Star Wars as well was specifically its placement on the bracket, because the kind of matchups that it came up with weren't a lot of really competitive ones.
Yeah, that's
until
another
this,
factor too.
So
series,
you're
yeah.
just trying to say I'm fixed the thing? I mean,
No, I'm not trying to say that. I'm just saying,
no.
like,
I think
there's
he's
several
trying to
games that are like that, and that's just
Most
the way
of
of it.
most of the games that
Well,
went
that's how
through were down
brackets
to
work in a
vote,
lot of
so
these.
you couldn't have
Like,
fixed
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Here's what it comes down to.
The number 1 seeds.
You know, even in sports, some number 1 seeds, they get put in a place where they've got a better shot of other ones. Didn't do it on purpose, by the way, but they do. And this originates from sports and how it's done there. And usually you can go, oh man, they want to go to that city because look at who all's there. They could just zoom through that. It just
By the
happens.
way, the winner on that text is the only one that put Star Wars, and I have spoken next to it.
Good. Nice. Nice. You should have said that on the air.
I know, but I
What a
was too upset about it at the moment. I'm sorry. Sorry,
the
Texter.
other thing I should
If you're on
say
the stream.
is that the Texters were definitely the wild card
Oh,
for
yeah.
this entire time.
It always is, and that's why Rob Brown actually absolutely hates my tiebreak worse than anybody in this room, to the point where he just gets downright angry. It doesn't make sense. Well, how should I do it? Well, not like that. Okay, I think it's the most fair and unfair way to do it.
Yeah.
I mean,
honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
There are worse ways to do it. I wouldn't personally do it that way if it was my way of doing it, but it's not my way of doing it.
if
It's Lonzo's way of doing it.
if I can make everybody mad about the way I'm doing it, then it's consistent.
Oh, yeah.
Then I'm not playing one side or the other. No one likes it. By the way, I like it because no one likes it, but that's
Yeah.
because I'm a contrarian. So
That's right.
anyway,
No one likes fair.
yes. Say goodbye, Tim.
Goodbye, Tim.
Say goodbye, Brandon.
Yeah.
Say goodbye, Matthew.
Bye.
And
Bye, y'all,
say goodbye,
seriously.
Cameron.
May the force be with you.
Yes, always.
I have spoken.
and
This is the way.
way to go, Mark. Thank you.
Mark, always a deciding factor.
Yeah, that's right.
all
Way to
of
go.
our-
It's always a mark, isn't it?
See you
All
guys.
right. Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all.